called it. But this has been the combination of 18 months of painstaking work. You tasked us in January to go through an inclusive process. I remember our terms of reference indicated two things: that we needed to go through an inclusive participatory process, and then otherwise it was more like a blank slate that you gave us. You also said you needed us to bring actionable recommendations, and with the emphasis on the word actionable. I think it was chosen advisedly to caution me that you didn't want any theory. So we took that to heart, and in the last 18 months, the last 11 months, we have traveled the country. We've met Ghanaians assembled in various communities. We've been to 10 regions of the country, held engagements with citizens there. We've met a cross-section of interest groups in the country, from academia to trade unions, and we believe that at the end of it, what it is that we propose will indeed be the actionable recommendations that you tasked us to come up with. It's been a really exciting experience. My colleagues and I have had a really honorable time doing this service for country. In the process, we've learned a lot about our own country. We've traveled the length and breadth of this country, and it's given us insights that I think many of us probably would not have gotten but for this opportunity. So we're very grateful for that opportunity. I must also recall, because I happen to know how fraught constitution review processes are in other parts of the region, in other parts of the continent. Ours was just a very simple process. I happened to participate in a webinar recently about a constitution review process going on in another African country. And when I mentioned our process, they said, "You mean the president's attorney general just called you and said they wanted you to chair this thing, and that was it? I mean, no fighting, nothing happened?" I said, "No." It was just mind-boggling. They couldn't understand that you could get something off the ground as big as a constitution review project in an African country without a lot of hassle. But it's a testament to the kind of opportunity we have here. And I think that this is really a very rare moment for us. We learned a lot from Ghanaians. There is a big clamor for change, and I do not think that it is something that we took for granted when we traveled the country and got a sense of the expectation that people had. So we have done our best in these pages, about 100 and so pages. We know you are an extraordinarily busy man, so we thought, well, why not send you the summary of recommendations, and then the more voluminous one will come. But we didn't want to scare you, so we thought, well, it would be fine to just have this for a teaser, and then very soon we will deliver the full report with our reasons, and all the theories should be in that one. These are the actionable recommendations for now. So I'll invite my fellow members, if you would join me. We have copies, the first 6 copies of the report to present to you, Mr. President, and if that's okay. All right, good. So I have been advised that it would be helpful to highlight a few things in the report. We were not given any particular marching orders. Some constitution review committees are told exactly what it is. They are given parameters, certain things that must be included or must not be included. We were not given any such parameters. So we listened to Ghanaians. We reviewed the past efforts that had been done. And some of the highlights, I would say, are not what people are expecting. So I think for the first time, we think we are ready as a country to make a historic move in the way in which our local government is structured. So we are advocating that we deepen our democracy by extending it downwards to the local communities. And we're also proposing in that direction, if we're going to be electing MMDCEs, that we should also take another look at our chieftaincy institution and find a way in which we can harness the social legitimacy that chiefs have for good at the local level. So we are also proposing to bring them into the local government structure, initially in the legislative and deliberative body at the district assembly, but we are proposing that there must be some plan to bring them in a more direct governing role at the sub-district level in terms of how our towns and villages are run. And for that, we have left the task to a devolution commission that we're proposing to really roll out and manage the whole decentralization enterprise as a country. We're also proposing changes in the Council of State, a significant change in the way in which that body is organized, partly in response to calls to abolish it. We thought that we could salvage it by giving it an expanded purpose, returning it more or less to its original 1969 intention, which was to be a co-guarantor of the independence of a number of constitutional bodies. So we have given it a fuller mandate in the area of appointments, so that a number of the appointments that hitherto had been done by the president in his sole discretion or with very little input, now would be actually funneled through the Council of State, and they would do a bit of the heavy lifting, doing the recruiting, the selection, and then would then end up with a nomination for the president. There are also, I think, one of the areas that we think is also important is the way the relationship between the executive and the legislature is organized. There has been a lot of talk around the separation of the two. We have looked at the evidence. Clearly, it works for some countries. We know that in Britain and other places, the entire executive comes from the legislature. That's fine for them, it's worked. We have looked at our evidence, and it does appear that it's not working quite well here. And since we're supposed to be doing actionable recommendations, we thought, well, it also has to respond to our specific context. So we're proposing that what we have called the hybrid, which we have run for some time, over 30 years now, that we dispense with it and separate the executive from the legislature so that we can have a parliament that focuses on its task and thus and leaves the executive to also do its task. One of the other things that we think would be new one of the things that we believe would be new for us is also in the way in which our public services and the public sector generally has been organized, and the role of partisanship in the operations of our public sector, whether it's the commercial sector, the SOEs, or it's the public services, civil service generally. So we have made quite a number of recommendations there to try and separate party from state. We can't separate party from government because parties run to get into government. So that affinity remains. But when it comes to running the affairs of states, we believe that we need to erect some walls around the state so that those who go in there are going in there not representing party interest. Those interests are in government appropriately, and we believe that we need to protect the state sector from over-politicization. So we have made certain recommendations affecting things like the appointment processes for state-owned enterprises. we also think it's about time to draw in SIGA, or a SIGA-like body, into the Constitution. We've always maintained this fiction in our Constitution that the public services, those public corporations of a commercial nature, do not belong in the Constitution. So we've kept them away, and while they are not strictly public services, we believe that the kind of impact they have on the economy, the scale of their operations, the percentage of GDP that they control, the contingent liabilities they impose on us, the systemic risk, all of those things justify bringing them closer to the Constitution so we can put some oversight and regulations around them. So we are bringing in a SIGA-like body. We don't know if it's going to call SIGA, but they're usually called commissions, so we don't know if SIGA wants to be called a State Enterprises Commission again. But that's something of the sort is what we're proposing. I think lastly, the issue of electing MMDCs, I want to return to that a bit. It was once we opened that, that Pandora's box, so to speak, it became clear that it had a lot of moving parts, a lot of different implications, because once you do it, then many other secondary questions arise. So we thought it needed to be done in a more systematic, orderly fashion. So what this committee has done is provide something of a roadmap, but then somehow leave the details to this devolution commission with some principles to really roll it out. Because partly we think maybe just starting with 261 elections across the country for districts, some of which are too atomistic, too small to even be viable, may not be the best way to start it. So we have more or less proposing a rolled out or a phased-in kind of devolution where certain districts that meet certain objective benchmarks would begin the process of electing their mayors while others graduate into the process. It's not peculiar to Ghana. I think even in UK, not every city gets to elect their mayor. You have to more or less meet certain benchmarks before you graduate into that category. So we're proposing a similar arrangement where the devolution commission applying certain criteria and benchmarks that are transparent and objective will then roll this out so that we don't have this, we have devolution but in a more orderly, systematic fashion. So those are some of the highlights of the report. There isn't, we couldn't find a place for a third term for the president. So we looked and looked and looked, we couldn't find. I mean, we realized that the president himself doesn't like it. Nobody really seems to like it. There wasn't much of a demand for it at all. The only thing about that was the invitation for us to clarify ambiguity, and we didn't even want to go there. We didn't think that 66.2 raised any issues in terms of ambiguity, so we kept it the way it is. However, we believe we took to heart the recommendations that we got from many of the eminent persons that we met, including some who have occupied your seat, that the 4-year term was short. It was too short. And we also then learned that the emerging global norm was 5. And that even in the region, we in Nigeria have the lowest. I mean, 4 is pretty low. So we're proposing an extension by 1 more year. We have coupled that with certain recommendations on in the area of campaign and campaigning, because the claim was that the president takes about 6 months or so to set up, and then 1 year campaigning and all of that. So we thought, okay, so if we then follow the example of other countries in Africa, including Senegal, where there is a definite campaign period before which you cannot do electioneering. You can't put posters, can't put billboards, can't do jingles, can't do rallies. So it's like the fishing season. You have to open it before you can go fish. So we are proposing a campaign season, a short one, so that government will have time to govern and that the people we elect
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Today is the 24th of December 2025. And I want to say thanks for joining the show. Thanks for tuning in. We're happy to know that you're spending this morning with us here on the Good Morning Ghana show on a Metro Television. My name is Aldo Moore. It is always a pleasure to come your way. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, and I always keep saying this is the day the Lord has made, and indeed we're glad in it. And I want to say a big thanks to the Almighty Allah for making it possible for us to return here to join the nation's conversation on the big issues that are making the rounds in our dear country, Ghana. Now, as you do know, the papers are on break. The newspapers are on break, and so we're unable to bring you the newspaper, headlines. But, it's not just the newspapers, there's also the online news stories that we can also bring you some. And Ghana Web, for instance, there's a story about stop insulting Otumfuo over Boku peace efforts. The Domahine has been warning the Asante Hine's attackers. And there's NACOC to step up surveillance at entertainment joints during festive season. So the signs of tobacco harm reduction and the future of public health. There's a Kotoka International Airport should be renamed Ghana Airport. Richard Suma. I don't know, this matter keeps coming back again. Perhaps it's time for us to sit and have a real and proper conversation about the way forward. Because some say, how do you name an airport after a coupist? So that's where the challenge is. But anyway, of course, AFCON 2025, Nigeria beats Tanzania to open Group C campaign that says denying your partner sex can lead to jail for emotional abuse. That's according to police. This matter. Anyway, I'm sure some couples are definitely going to have an issue with this, but it is what it is. That's what the police are telling us. Anyway, so let me also check out what's on My Joy Online, and it says that no law will silence journalists under my watch, says Speaker Bagbin. And then there's also Vehicle Enforcement Association files injunction to restrain DVLA over planned rollout of new number plates. There's changing illegal fares is a crime. Passengers must resist GPRTUs. The Speaker Bagbin lauds media as indispensable partner in democracy. POO issues ultimatum over illegal takeover of Ghana waterlands in Ashanti region. Clear Asokwa Ahojo corridor by January 4 or risk eviction, Kumasi Mayor warns traders. And there's no room for excuses. NDC vows to deliver fully on people's mandate. So let me also check out it's on the other online portals. Of course, my favorite and your favorite, Metro TV Online, says Lands Minister charges new Valco board to lead aluminium, industry revival. There's Kolebu to conduct mass burial of 320 unclaimed bodies. Xmas message, delivering fully on our mandate remains our focus. NDC to Ghanaians. And there's also LC Apia Ose wins Best Online Parliamentary Reporter at 2025 Parliament Media Awards. There's a Fisherman movie wins Best Film in Ghana as lead actor claims Africa's top honor. Senegal starts AFCON 2025 strong with 3-0 win over Botswana. And just in, Coleman Hills Mohammed's game-changing sports fund bill. I'm talking about the man Robert Coleman. All right, so that's with MetroTVOnline.com. Now, let me end with the City Newsroom. Let me end with the City Newsroom and look at what City Newsroom is reporting this morning. This says BOG increases annual license fee for SDIs to 50,000 cedis. There's also Fire Service urges strict safety measures after deadly Etrima Menshia blaze. There's Enchi Court fines labourer 1,200 cedis for stealing farmers' nanny goat. Hey, that's serious. Come with dancing shoes. DJ Mingo hypes situation all white party. There's don't drink and drive. Be responsible. Commercial transport operators to drivers. And there's a Ghana High Commissioner engages Ghanaian entrepreneurs in the UK, and there's vacate Asokwa Honjo stretch of Phase 4's removal Kumasi Mayor to traders. Guta urges government to clamp down on foreign dominance in retail trade, and NPP's 2024 laws exposed governance candidate weaknesses, according to Brian H. Champon. All right, so that's it for at least the online review. As we've just done. So please stay with us. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television, and please stay with us. First of all, let's check out what's on Metro TV online again before we go ahead with our next activity.
Bronye, Kato Sagre Limited, bro, the more de, the more ham, na mwatimi dinu anijimu, ewa ufie, ene unyumem, ewa nkran ha, Kumase, Cape Coast, ene takrade, yawa packages a hudu wama bronye, me dofupa package no, ye mau akuko broiler bako, layer bako, inkosia kreti mienu, ni ama chicken spices akahu, ninyina, eye 450 Ghana cedis per, me dofupa, ewo deye, anasa open akesie munsua, yewo akuko bolobo package ne mao, ya no, ye mau kuko broilers mienu, layers mienu, inkosia kreti mienu, ni ama chicken spices akahu, ninyina, 800 Ghana cedis per, akuko bolobo, enkuko bebre, eni yeso bebre, yanu achire no, yewo don sada package mao, yanu no yema musia, eni nyumeku ahodo, yema nkuko broilers miensa, layers miensa, enkosia 3 crates, ni ama chicken spices akahu, ninyina, 1200 Ghana cedis per, wedie, order sisia, na enjoy more, na sa uye jumeku, na wo order ye package mu bia, ye free delivery, ede brew, nemum, ensheshe kakra wo ho, Frekato Sagre Limited, ewo, 0558 376127, ana 0241 674268, and afe 020 331 5557. Bronye, choose Kato Sagre Limited. Kato Sagre Limited. Freshness you can trust.
Hello my friends, my name is Kelkit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You dig it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kelkits. Happy smile.
In a world where everything is connected, your business's security is only as strong as its weakest link. The growing threat of cybercrime has become an unescapable reality. In 2025 alone, the projected cost of cybercrime is expected to grow to $10 trillion globally, with small-medium businesses disproportionately targeted. Cyber threats have become increasingly sophisticated, widespread, and invisible, placing unequipped organizations at risk of massive damages in a matter of seconds. Meet Virtual InfoSec Africa, Ghana's Tier 1 certified managed security service provider. We don't just monitor threats, we predict, prevent, and respond 24/7. At Virtual InfoSec Africa, we deliver bold and cost-effective cybersecurity solutions tailored to your organization's size and complexity. Whether you're a startup or a national institution, our services scale with your needs. We offer 24/7 SOC monitoring, early warning threat intelligence, managed detection and response, digital forensics and incident response, and predictive analysis and threat hunting. From endpoint protection to dark web forensics, we secure every layer of your digital ecosystem. Why wait for a breach to act? Join the ranks of high institutions who trust Virtual InfoSec Africa to secure their future. Start your 3-month free trial of our early warning threat intelligence platform today. For more inquiries, contact 055-689-2086 or visit our website at www.virtualinfosecafrica.com.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Freddy Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Freddy once now. Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action. Me did Sasso spray. Mr. Freddy Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sassa, you now.
Come tum preko.
Ante saba, e wo mo bodi ni ma, nke kwala mo ba.
Oh, ko se, ena me dia semesio. Kane ne pa no, na saa na me so ya na wode me. Edure na adi me nkwa no, Kingdom Garlic Bitters.
No, mo benefit me.
Me benefit wan. Oso ko to de.
Abrewa, esma ma abrente. Me shuve. Wonante kakra na wabre. No Kingdom Garlic Bitters, ene ne capsules. Nenya hoden abre bia.
Kingdom Garlic Bitters, ene ne capsules.
Asembia nyu.
Edeben wo hu ama wani agise. Senior na me wife complain won personal. Kingdom Ginseng Power Capsules nti. Sesia mpaso aye de.
Kingdom Ginseng Power Capsules. Emani tie ni asumdie befi abre bia. Oba bia o de pu ahaw no. Edro ba kupa wo hia ne Tremendous Capsules. Tremendous Capsules esiesie wo ma wo ye oba asima. Enro yi wo benya bi wo ba bia ye ton nro bia. Kingdom Herbal, no challenger.
Bronyai, Katus Agri Limited, bro, the more de, the more ham, na mwatimi dinu anijimu, ewa ufie, ene unyumem, ewa nkran ha, kumase, Cape Coast, ene takrade, yawa packages ahudu wama bronyai, me dofupa package no, ye mau akuko broiler baako, layer baako, inkosia kreti mienu, Nyama chicken spices akahu. Ninyina eye 450 Ghana cedis per. Me dofupa. Emo deye. Anasa open akesie mu so a ye wo akoko bolobo package ne ma ho. Ye no, ye ma nkoko broilers mienu, layers mienu, nkosua crate mienu. Nyama chicken spices akahu. Ninyina 800 Ghana cedis per akoko bolobo enkoko bebre eni yeso bebre yano akire no ye wo don sada package ma yano no ye ma musua eni nwumaku ahodo ye ma nkoko broilers miensa layers miensa enkosia 3 crates ni ama chicken spices aka ho ni nyina 1200 Ghana cedis per we die order sisia na enjoy more na sa wo ye adwumaku na wo order ye package mu bia ye free delivery at the brow nemum enhyehyɛ kakra wo ho Frekato Sagre Limited ewo 0558 376127 ana 0241 674268 and afi 020 331 5557 Bronye to Kato Sagre Limited. Kato Sagre Limited, freshness you can trust.
This December, Faith Life Church crowns the year with 2 unforgettable nights of worship and power. On Tuesday, 30th December at 7 p.m., get ready for a transformational encounter, a night of music ministration featuring Team Eternity, Akase Brimpong, the Faith Life Collective, guest minister, Pastor Emmett Konedu. Then, on Wednesday, 31st December at 9 p.m., join us for a glorious watch night service as we cross from 2025 into 2026 under open heavens. With MOG Music and the Faith Life Collective leading prophetic praise and Pastor Daniel Yao Entry releasing divine instruction for your new year. Venue for both events is the Junction Mall, Nungwa Barrier. 2 nights, 30th and 31st December. One encounter with God. Faith Life Church, step into 2020.
You're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Aldo Moro, and the show is live on 94.1 FM on your radio dial. Now, my guests are here, but before we kickstart our main conversation for the day, I've got some good news for you. It's fantastic news, great news, and that's the thing you get on Good Morning Ghana. Good Morning Ghana only gives you good news. That's the thing. Now, my guest here, which is going to, I'm going to have an executive interview with my guest. She is from Easy Manufacturing Paints. I got that correctly. I'm talking about Easy Waterproof Manufacturing Paint. That's what I should read. Zenobia Opoku Dakwa is head sales and marketing of the company I just mentioned. She's got some fantastic news for those of you watching, especially those of you in the real estate business, or you own a property, or you are even a tenant. You ought to pay rapt attention to this because you need this information. It's extremely important to you. Zenobia, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Thank you very much. I enjoyed our interaction the last time. And I got some very, very useful feedback. I mean, people actually called because they wanted your contact number or your contact, and I had to give your number out. I hope that the calls came through since the last time, since you came here the other day. And we want some more calls and some more, visitations to your various offices and so on.
Yes.
Now, you came here the last time and you talked to us about why, the public must choose your products over the others. And you said that your products have some unique qualities that you won't find in the others. Once again, remind us of what is it that makes Easy Waterproof Paint the best? And then what is the new information that you want to share with the public?
Okay. So good morning to your cherished viewers and a Merry Christmas in advance to all of you.
Yes.
Hope your holidays are blessed and you take very good care of yourselves. So,
my bad. I should have started by extending my season's greetings to you.
No, but you know, when I'm done, I'll take everything you brought for me, including your car. So don't worry about that. I knew you intentionally did that so that
you mean you had
I'll go before, but I've targeted everything.
You had your own plan.
I brought a list of
I'm
it.
in trouble. Anyway, so let's talk a bit about Easy Paint.
Okay, so we went to check on one customer's home, and when we got there, the first question I asked when they opened his garage for us was, "Oh, do you sell hardware?" And he said, "No. These are products that were introduced to me because I have this bad leakage problems in my home."
Okay.
And they do a lot of recommendations. So he told me, "Listen, Zenobia, I'm trusting you and taking your word. I'm going to use your paint, but I'm not going to pay you till I see the potency of it before."
Okay.
I said, "No problem. But I'm also daring you that I'm also going to leave you. When you see the potency of the paint, you're going to add 20% more to it. Do you agree?" He said, "Agreed."
Interesting.
And then I left and I went.
So you have a deal?
Oh, yes. And I took a very nice package from him.
Okay.
So what happens is, this paint, we just did not bring it up. We had to see the problems of the homes in Ghana.
Okay.
Most of these are homes, we've been dealing with a lot of estate agents, and you go and people keep coming, "Oh, the house is in this shape, we bought it not too long, and it's showing these problems and these problems." So we told people that once you start the building, especially those who are at the foundation level, I would encourage you that if you can do anything better for yourself for this Christmas, get Easy Waterproof paint. Those in the very unlucky, places that have a lot of water or salt in the land, when you buy the Easy Waterproof paint, don't even mix. After you do your concrete casting, just pour it there. Let us solve the problem that would come from the ground. Then when you raise your fence, and then you do the plastering, let's do another application. So it means we are done with the floor and with the walls. And then when you do your roofing, let's do the final one. And let every other person think about the problems in their home because you have Easy Paint. So today, I brought the water with me again.
Okay.
Once you get the waterproof on your building, this is what you're telling the building. Just as the other time I brought it and there was no leakage. So this is what it does on your building. Yes. Either old or new building.
So this is a basket.
This is a basket.
And you have splashed the paint.
Yes.
In the basket.
In the basket.
And you have poured the water in it.
Exactly.
You want to prove to everybody that this product, the Easy Paint, has what it takes to deal with leakages.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Simple.
Okay, I'm listening.
Simple. And it's just 2 coats.
Just 2
All
coats.
you need is 2 coats.
And you're home and dry.
But first, we need you to clean the surface. Most of these, my nice painters, they do a very beautiful job for you when they have to, do a lot of people's work. They come and tell you, "Oh, Master Moro, I just want to do some see and come. Do any shoddy work for you." And then you come back and you tell me, "Oh, Zenobia, your paint." No. I've never had anybody complain like that to me. So I'll tell the painters, once it's Easy Waterproof paint that you want to use for your customers, make sure that the surface that you want to apply is very clean. I mean very clean.
Okay.
If it's an old wall, you have to do the sandpaper work, get the old paint from there. The dust from the scraping must be cleaned. Most painters don't do that. It has to be cleaned. So I tell people, when you go to live in a place, make sure that you are nice with the young men and the young ladies there. You can just call them to come and do this work for you before the painter comes, because most painters wouldn't want to do that. So you get a bowl, put some soapy water in, then damping cloth, get the dust off the walls.
Okay.
Once it's dry, you do the application, then you're good to go. Once there is dirt where you want to apply the waterproof, it's not going to work.
So if you want to derive the full benefits of using this product, then you have to abide by these do's and don'ts.
That's right.
Otherwise, you would then call You may blame the company for giving you a bad product.
Exactly.
When it is not your fault.
Yes.
It is your fault. Because it comes with some terms and conditions.
Exactly.
And you've not followed it through and through. That's why I've noticed you keep emphasizing on how the product is used.
Yes.
That's interesting. Is it also because you have witnessed instances where people didn't do the needful and yet went ahead to do the painting? And so, well, easy for Makasa, but it's not actually, I'm not achieving my objective of buying the product.
I know. We got a call from one lady in Takrady. Hey, Rabo, now isn't na one coffee painting what was the age man? And then I asked, Mommy, what you and then, oh, what bay as oh, one and mama was a fado. No, you just don't do that. I keep telling people this is not your ordinary paint that you just go and then you apply on the wall because there's another paint on it. No. This needs a lot of work. It's like you see a very beautiful, nicely trained young lady you want to live with. You just don't go and start doing things. You need to go the right way.
Okay.
So you have to make sure every old thing is gone.
Okay.
Proper cleaning is done. Dryness is achieved. Then you apply.
Is it only on concrete walls?
No.
Which other surfaces can you apply this?
Every surface works with easy waterproof paint.
Whether wooden,
whether wood, metal, everything. It works on it. And the other time we had, it wasn't even a problem, but I think the gentleman himself told us. I came to meet him when I came to have an interview with Paul. He had sublight, the solar panels on his roofing. So when they went to do the painting, they did just where he showed them. So later on, he realized the water was still coming in, and then he saw it was from where the solar panels are. Please, if you have solar panels on your roofs, because the paint can get to where the panels are, kindly make sure that the painters do it inside. They will do it inside your room.
Right.
So that the water that will be accumulated from where the panels are, it will be stopped from there.
So where do I get some of your products? How much do they cost? And, is it just the paint or there are other things, chemicals that I need to buy to be able to achieve my purpose for buying your product?
So this waterproof paint, you don't need anything to mix. It's just the water in the
Just
bucket.
the water, okay.
Just the water.
Right.
Water is all you need. Your first coat has to be very light, wait to dry. Then you do the second application. That is the one you're seeing outside. So the second application is thicker than the first one. Our main offices is at Abeka Junction. We just closed from the Achimota Road. We are closer to the Shell filling station. From the Circle Road that leads to La Paz, we are adjacent to the Allied filling station. But from today, we are taking a break from the main office. But our office at Tudu will work throughout the holidays. So the office at Tudu is opposite to the Lebanon House.
Right.
So you can go there and then purchase as many as you want and any color of your choice as you wish if you don't get us from the office. But our lines are always open. You can get us on the 0243 707696. 0243 707696. If you've not thought of any, Christmas parcel to give to anybody for this festive occasion, kindly get them easy waterproof paint and you thank me later. And remember, with easy waterproof paint, our basket is still here. No more leakage.
No leakage. Yes, just paint papa. Take advantage of it. It should be easy paint papa.
Sound.
Correct.
I think that's somebody's slogan.
Well,
so I don't get to
there's nothing new under the sun.
Okay. So I'll take it from Moro. Easy waterproof paint papa.
Paint papa. Paint to correct.
Correct paint.
Anyway.
Yes.
Oh, Zeno, it's always a pleasure, having you join us, and please come back again.
Thank
come
you.
Back again. I like good news. When the season of good news, this is when the Christmas season, and these are the kinds of things we want to hear. Because truth of the matter is that there are lots and lots of people who keep complaining about, the cracks in their wall and so on and so forth, and especially those who live by the coastal areas, they complained bitterly. So now you found a solution to their problems, and so all they need to do is to call 024370 7696, as you can see it on your screens. Zeno, as I affectionately call it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you too, Moro.
Season's greetings.
Enjoy the holidays,
Yes.
but I'm waiting to take mine.
No, why not? In
Let's-
fact, I've told Bright, I've already requested that Bright sees you when you're leaving. So your package is ready.
Okay.
Yes.
The truck
so
is
Bright,
ready
Bright
too.
will take care of it.
I brought a truck to pick them.
No, truck would be too big.
Too big.
Yeah, it's just 4 separate hampers. That's all.
Okay.
Yes,
Martin.
yes, 4 separate
All
hampers,
right.
and you'd love them.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right, you
All
too.
right, then. So, you're watching Good Morning Ghana on the Metro Television. The show is live on 94.1 FM. I told you that the papers are not out today, and the Good Morning Ghana show is a newspaper analysis show, but the papers are not here. But my guests have kindly accepted to still join us, and because the issues are all over the place, aren't they? We have the issue of the Constitution Review Commission, which has presented this report to the president. The president has acknowledged it. He's commended them for doing a good job. And he said that a team would be formed or constituted to implement the recommendations there or to help in the implementation of the committee's recommendations. So that's one of the issues that we intend to look at. But of course, we can't take away the politics. That one of the gentlemen who will be joining us this morning has some aspirations. He has a dream, and we would find out what exactly is that dream and how does he intend to achieve it. But of course, within his own party, there are issues, many issues. I don't know why this issue about Zango votes keep recurring in the MPP's internal elections. I don't know exactly what the issue here is. Dr. Brian Champon, who is one of the aspirants, is all over the place talking about it. Kenny Japon's people are talking about it. I don't think I've heard that of Dr. Educhum or say Educhum and Kwabena Japan talked about it, but I think these two other aspirants, I'm talking about Kennedy Japan and Dr. Brian Champon, have raised it, especially Dr. Brian Champon has raised it on several fora. And we would again maybe have to revisit it depending on how much time we have to find out what exactly is the issue here. We'd look at that. And of course, there's also a High Court decision or a High Court ruling. Would we have to really take a second look at that? Now, there's a matter which went before the High Court. It was by a reporter based in the Central. The name has escaped me, but the High Court made a very, very bizarre ruling, and the ruling is to the effect that when you come across an information which is, even though is of public concern, don't put it out. You should rather take it to the relevant state institutions for them to vet or to investigate it, thoroughly before the information is put out. And I found that a bit, and the reason is that it bothers on people's privacy. It bothers on people's privacy, and I thought that was a problem. But anyway, so there's quite a number of issues for us to look at on the show. Please join us. Please don't go anywhere. That's what I wanted to say. Please stay with us.
Ooh. kings. You're the Lord of lords, yeah. In you is life, yeah. I worship you, my Lord. You are oh, Savior. Worship your King Jesus. Oh, worship him, my Lord Jesus.
All right, this is Good Morning Ghana on the Metro Television. Of course, it's the, you can call it Christmas edition. And so, you know, there's a lot of excitement and a lot of joy and merrymaking going on. And the traffic in town is crazy, isn't it? It's and I'm sure it's going to get more hectic. Perhaps after 12, when a lot of companies have closed and people are going home to prepare for the Christmas, for Christmas tomorrow. Some, I'm sure, will be traveling and so on and so forth. So you have to, when you're moving around, have that at the back of your mind. Anyway, so my guests are seated here and the conversation would start. Now, one of them is more like a father of this show. I mean, he started way back 23 years ago. I'm talking about the former managing editor of the Insight newspaper, Mr. Kwesi Pratt Jr. We call him Uncle Kwesi, and a veteran journalist, as you do know. He's joined us this morning. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. Morning, it's always a pleasure to have you join us. All right. And also, there's a man here who hasn't been here in a while, but he's been on the show several times. And he's a man who is loved and respected, a man of great reputation and so on and so forth. He's a member of the New Patriotic Party and a very, very, very influential member of the party indeed. I'm talking about Dr. Henry Kwabena Kokofu. He is a private legal practitioner, but at the same time, the former, I believe, is the chief executive officer of the EPA, and then also an aspirant of the NPP's general secretary position, or the chief scribe position of the New Patriotic Party. But this morning he's here as a member of the NPP's communications team. Good morning, Big Boss. Good to see you.
Good morning, my brother. Good to see you too.
Long time.
Yeah. Let me say good morning to our cherished viewers and listeners out there, and to my senior brother, because it's been a long time.
Yes.
But I'm back.
Right.
I'm here.
Okay.
And I'm at home.
And I hope that it is not going to be some kind of a 9-day wonder. No. Not a flash in the pan.
No, because you won't agree to it. You want to see me more often coming 2026. You would like to see me.
You'll see you more often, eh?
Yes.
In 2026.
And by the grace of God, that will happen. That will be service to country and God, and of course to my New Patriotic Party.
Right.
So I wouldn't hesitate to respond to any call.
Yeah.
So long as I'm invited, and you are ready to have me.
Yeah.
I'm ready to serve.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, I was watching the Public Accounts Committee's sitting. I think one of this must have been a few weeks ago, and you came up for some massive praise and commendation. I mean, I'm sure you watched it too. I don't know how that made you feel when you heard that. All the things that were said about you, especially as in your tenure as the former EPA boss.
Well, that was quite refreshing. But I must admit, I wasn't in town.
Oh, okay.
I did not watch it, but when I came down, it was sent to me, the video.
Okay.
And looking at it and watching, I was quite okay. So I dedicated all that to the good people and the staff of EPA.
Right.
They are very wonderful personnel at EPA who are so patriotic and ready to work under strenuous conditions. Terms of office, conditions of office are not the best, one of the best in the country, yet they do not complain. And even when they want to complain, they do so within the confines of the law and also the limitations of resources available. So I had a wonderful staff to work with across the country. But then the person who put me there deserves the greatest of thanks. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the president.
Right.
Through the then Sector Minister, Professor Kwabena Frimpong, who worked my appointment through the Chief of Staff then, Mame Freema Opare, Honorable. So it was a call to duty to serve the nation, and I embraced it with the hope that all others will join and then come together. And it shouldn't be me alone, because I left office, I think, February 28 February 2024.
Okay.
So somebody succeeded me, and that was Dr. John Krugu.
Right.
Yeah, he ended the year, and so he deserves a tons of praise. I mean, he took it upon himself to continue the good things that we've started, the reforms that we are putting in place. So that was quite refreshing. And we just wanted to demonstrate that state institutions, given the necessary support, could work and contribute to nation building. And the greatest legacy that the Kufuor's government left for this country is the new EP Act. That's the Environmental Protection Act, 112 of 2025.
Right.
It embodies the entire, both internal and global environmental governance systems. It augments the authority and the power of EPA. You know, today it's an Environmental Protection Authority.
Right.
It used to be an agency. The change in name in itself does not make anything, but the ingredients in the new law that gives them the power and the authority to stamp on all and then also try to control the environmental space by way of regulations, enforcement, and what have you. Added to that was the climate change sector of our environmental situation within the global space, and the carbon trade, carbon marketing, which, when effectively utilized, could be mainstream into the national financial administration, because there are a lot of monies out there in the carbon trade. So thank you for observing that. And let me thank Uncle Kwesi, because I'm told he had a very wonderful words for me that day.
Okay.
And then thereafter.
I'm sure on another platform.
Yeah, on another platform, yeah.
Right. But I have, you know, I've been doing some reading about you, and I noticed you have so many masters. And look, let me attempt some of them. You have, first of all, I think it's public knowledge that you're a PhD graduate in environmental science from the Institute of Environment and Sanitation Studies. Again, University of Ghana. So, of course, that's University of Ghana. Now, you've been awarded a Doctor of Laws, LLD, that's honoris causa, by the Commonwealth University of Belize, I believe I got that correctly, in 2017. There's a master's class in leadership and management at London Graduate School, also in 2017. Master of Law, LLM, Oil and Gas from University of Ghana. There's Barrister of Law from Ghana School of Law. Master of Science, MSc, Agroforestry. Currently, you're also pursuing a Master of Science in Defense and International Politics at the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College. Why?
Okay, let me do a little
correction.
Yes.
Okay.
You said the PhD was?
Yeah, it's in environmental. It says environmental science.
Is there a PhD student?
No, there's a graduate.
Yes.
Yes,
so
a PhD graduate in environmental science from the Institute of Environment and Sanitation
So the
Studies.
correction has to do with the Master of Science.
Okay.
Defense and International Politics. I graduated 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, at the GAFC.
So confirm to us, how many masters do you have?
I have one in the pipeline. Maybe next year I will graduate National Security Law and Practice at the University of Ghana.
And that will make it how many masters? When you're done with that?
Please do the calculations. Because he was very good in mathematics and arithmetic.
No, Ade.
In addition.
I mean, is it what you take delight in learning and just learning and studying and going to school? What's your motivation, really?
Well, one is to set an example for the up and coming, I mean the youth, that there's no limitations to knowledge acquisition. Then again, also to occupy myself as a person. Growing up, I trained myself to be multitasking. And I strongly believe that we waste lots of time in this country sticking to one particular activity. And at the end of the day, it becomes so monotonous, and you do not know whether you are climbing or you are declining. So the more courses, the more attempts I make towards acquiring new space of knowledge, it gives me that kind of measurement, whether I'm doing good or right or I'm declining. And then there's also the need to train the mind. The brain has to be constantly doing something. So you get on top of issues, and you are able to appreciate whatever surrounds you. So by and large, otherwise, I don't know anything much, because he knows best. Because anytime we engage, then a new idea comes. I fall short at this point. I mean, we are in a debate, whether here with other people or somebody. A new idea comes. I say, okay, fine. Can I explore this idea? Can I move on? I lectured, I had the opportunity to lecture at Bonn. There was this climate change meeting. And I gave Ghana's perspective, what Ghana is doing towards the nationally determined contributions in an attempt to stem the menace of climate change. And before I finished, I was approached, please, can you come around and lecture as, be part of the program that does the carbon credit, carbon trading activities. I said, I'm the chief executive of the whole EPA in Ghana. How am I going to be able to take it up? But from there, I got the idea of this national security thing. Because we linked it up. There was a lecture given by another person. That linked climate change menace to internal security scaffolds. So national security matters relates to most of the climate situations that we have, most of the environmental infractions that we have. Take Galamsey, for instance. Take land litigation, for instance. Take drought. The Fulani people coming up there with the cattle and all those things. There are a lot of confusions, conflicts that arises out of that. Not because people want to do wrong, but because of the effects of climate change. It can cause ecological niches to be extinct or be stressed out, where the people want to find solutions to, and that will be that conflict situation. The tragedy of the commons then sets in, and people will be conflicting on interests as to who takes what and who gets what. So the motivation to do causes and to read more has to be. But let me sound a caveat. It is not enough to have the letters. It is, you may have 1 degree, you may not even have a degree, but whatever knowledge, by which means, whether through apprenticeship, whether through what we call efficiency, being together with others, learning through whatever, and applying it appropriately to the benefit of society, that makes the way. So with all these degrees, if I'm unable to apply to the cause of duty, to the benefit of society, my country, Ghana, and to the entire global world, then it becomes a waste.
All right. I'm going to ask Uncle Kwesi Pratt how long he's known, in fact, how the two of you met and so on and so forth. But we'll do that after this break. Please stay with us.
Start your kids' day the right way, filled with confidence to take on any challenge. Pepsodent Kids contains the right amount of fluoride and sugar acid protection to care for their developing gums and teeth. Grab either orange or strawberry so they brush with the sweet flavor they love morning and evening. Pepsodent Kids, giving your children a bright smile for a brighter future.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
I'm a brand manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
The festive season is here again, and your most preferred estate partner is giving you 25% discount on land sale. Yes, for our Bronya Asase promo, Estate Masters is offering this massive discount for outright purchases. This includes free indenture, free site plan, and a free site visit. So what are you waiting for? Rush now and secure a plot of land while it is still hot. Reach out to us using the numbers below or visit our website at www.estatemastersgh.com. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
Wabedum time aso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya mabesisia. Abozing. Akache say no ya konati and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eji. Dabio, baby wom. Ready. Hey, baby wom. Ah, Aji! I'll cause some discomfort. Ah! Sorry, well, uncle, where would I die? Why your funeral?
Say a Pesori insecticide GB at a user. Co pharmacy in a shop biamu. Na mum say a pharmacy supermarket and a shop ra. Na repedudu to a cotonwa. On for Royal Dutch and our Aerofield Trading. Effie spray with Daimwa.
At the heart of Amasaman, along the Accra Sawam Road, something fresh is growing. At Pop Farms, we raise 100% organic broilers, naturally fed, humanly raised, and processed with the highest hygiene standards. Whether you're feeding a family at home, serving dinners in your restaurant, stocking your supermarket, or running a busy chore bar, Pop Farms delivers freshly frozen, premium quality chicken straight from our farm to your table. Fast, reliable doorstep delivery, fair prices, grown with care right here in Ghana. Clean, healthy, Local, organic, that's the Pap Farms promise. Call us today on 024-777-3668 or 054-290-4156 or email sales@papfarmsgh.com. Pap Farms, raising the standard of poultry in Ghana.
Pap Farms chicken, naturally raised, honestly delivered.
You're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. The show is also live on 94.1 FM. My name is Aldo Moro, and I'm here with Dr. Henry Kwabena Kokofu, a lawyer and also the former executive director of the EPA and also an aspiring general secretary of the New Patriotic Party and also a member of the party's communication. He's also a former MP. That's what a lot of people perhaps may have forgotten. He's a former MP, I think from 2013 or so to 2017. I believe I got that correctly. Yeah. 2013 to 2017. Yes. Bantama. Yes. So he understands the work of Parliament. Now, Ongwezi, I'm just curious. How did you meet the big man, and what was the circumstances? How have you kept the relationship going till now? What do you like about him, and so on and so forth?
Well, first of all, I'll be dishonest if I said that I remember when exactly I met him for the first time and so on, What I know is that I've known this gentleman for a very, very long time. Have interacted with him on many, many different platforms. In Parliament, and when we've had to do work in Parliament, he's been there. Outside Parliament, we've had interactions. We participated on platforms such as this one, and had some social relations as well. I remember that he lost a relative somewhere on the mountains.
My mother.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he insisted that I go with him. So I went with him, to go and mourn with him and so on. I've been following his academic pursuits very, very seriously, rigorously, and so on. So I've known him for a very, very long time. And perhaps the distinguishing thing about him is that he doesn't change, with changes in government and so on. He still remains the same person, keeps the same friends, is loyal to his friends and so on. And that's a remarkable thing to do. I've known many friends. When NPP is in power, the attitude is different. When NDC is in power, the attitude is different. But for this friend of mine, he remains the same. And he's himself, and so on. So I think that's a remarkable thing. But for me, the most important thing is that in an era where there's so much focus on wrongdoing in public office, and I don't want to go into the details, it is most refreshing to find somebody who has left public office who is earning praise for the work that he has done. Over the last 11 months, it's been very difficult to hear praises for people who were in public office. And perhaps he's the only one that I'm hearing praises, for the work that he did, especially in the areas of accountability and prudence in the management of public resources. So I'm so proud that my brother here happens also to be my friend, and I wish him the best. In the public spaces, we need that, people who can be relied upon. In these public spaces, you need people who are not so overtly too politically partisan, who place the interest of Ghana, above all else and so on. And I'm so happy that I got a friend like this, and I'm so happy that he stays a friend. I haven't seen him for a long time because apparently he's been traveling quite a lot, you know. But I'm happy to meet him on this platform. Look, Ghana is in trouble. Everybody knows that Ghana is in trouble. And we need to rally all the forces we can find in order to carry on a rescue mission. Ghana is in very, very deep trouble. You and I were at a media briefing yesterday. And it was so horrifying. I mean, yesterday I almost felt paralyzed after listening to, you know, accounts of the state of the cocoa board. You know, it's frightening. And it's not just the cocoa board. Many of our state institutions are in that kind of situation. And if we don't rally, you know, don't rally around the flag and the interest of working people and so on, this country can very, very quickly become a banana republic. I'm so very deeply worried about the present and future of this country. And that is why you need to have some people who have membership of the National Democratic Congress or the New Patriotic Party or CPP or PNC and so on, who look beyond the narrow objective of capturing power for their entities, you know, and can look at the national interest, whatever it is, however it's defined. You know, yes, I'm very worried. I mean, and I'm sure that perhaps we were also as worried as I was yesterday after listening to the briefing on the state of the cocoa board. It's frightening. And yesterday, you know something that clicked. When Randy was appointed as chief executive of the cocoa board, I mean, he told me, and I said, Randy, what are you going to do there? You know, you are making a significant contribution as a media personnel and so on. Why are you going there? You know, what is the motivation and so on? Yesterday, I felt right.
Vindicated.
Yes, I felt right.
Yes.
Just poor boy. You know, poor boy. Why this burden? Of course, somebody must carry the burden. Somebody must work for Ghana and so on. But the mess is huge. It's so huge. I mean, especially the part where, you know, we are told that the total liabilities of Cocoa Board are much bigger than its total assets. Yeah. It's a bankrupt company, you know. But you need people like Kukofu and others, you know, to rally around in order to engage and to see if we can find solutions to these hydra-headed problems that confront us. So, my brother, congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's see.
I mean, listening to Randy yesterday, I mean, you're absolutely spot on. It was very depressing.
So depressing. Very,
very depressing. And the question I asked myself, why do we do this? Why are we doing this to our own, you know, our own country? You know, what do we want? You know, it's very difficult to sometimes understand why and how people do certain things. You know, and again, as if you knew it, but whilst you and I and Kwekubak were seated, I was recalling what the first thing you said when you came on the show after Randy's appointment, and you said, look, you pity Randy. Those were the use you said, I pity Randy. But at the time, I didn't have that in-depth knowledge of how bad the situation was. Fortunately, you did. And so you knew exactly what you're saying. But after listening to him yesterday, I was like, wow. You know, I mean, somebody else would have resigned and said, look, deal with it. Whatever the state ought to do. But you see, he said here something yesterday. He said, look, some very, very, very hard and tough decisions would have to be taken about the cocoa board situation.
Moral, basic. You're dealing with cocoa, the cocoa sector. And over the last 3 years or so, we've lost 50% of production. 50% of production.
That's massive.
Why? One, as a result of the impact of Galamsey. It's had a huge impact on the cocoa sector. But then we also have the swollen shoot disease, which also has made a huge impact in the cocoa sector. That alone is troubling. You know, that alone is exceedingly troubling. There was a situation where, you know, the LBCs, the Ghanaian LBCs, are folding up. You know, so the license buying companies are becoming predominantly foreign. That's a huge problem that we have to grapple with. And then you have a situation where the resources available to the board, you know, are not enough just to pay salaries. They are not enough just to pay. If you finish paying salaries, there's nothing left. You have a hole.
Yeah.
You understand? That's a terrible situation, you know. And then there are loans that the board has to pay, you know, and so on. I mean, it's terrible. It's really, really, really terrible, you know. I wonder how Randy is able to sleep at night. I mean, how is he going to be able to sleep burdened with this problem? You know, yesterday, one of the things which also struck me, and he himself has said it before, was how recklessly, you know, the board carried out imports of cocoa sacks, for example. Just so reckless to the maximum, you know.
But Uncle, see, quite clearly,
you have sacks which would last for 3 years.
I'll bring you in. Sorry, I'll bring you in.
You have cocoa sacks which are going to last for 3 years, and then you import more, and then you don't clear them at the port.
And import more.
And then they are auctioned at the port, and people come from Nigeria and buy them and take them away and so on.
But quite clear, Uncle, see, that's clearly a case of causing financial loss.
I have said repeatedly that my interest is not in just prosecution and sending people to jail and so on. That's not my interest. Okay. My major interest is what systems we introduce in order to stop the bleeding. Yeah. But look, over the years, we've been sending people to jail. We've actually been killing people, you know, sentencing them to death and so on. Has it changed anything? It hasn't. I remember the 1970s, 79, you know, and I remember some of the killings that were carried out. I mean, somebody like Rear Admiral Joy and Medome. Why did we kill him? We tied him to the stakes and shot him because he had taken a loan then of his 5,000 cedis without collateral. That was the reason why he was executed by firing squad.
Yeah.
In today's terms, you're talking about a loan he had taken whose worth is about 5 cedis. And it's not that he stole the money, he took it as a loan, he was paying.
Yeah.
But he took it without collateral, and therefore the assumption was that he may have used his influence as a political office holder. He was tied to the stakes and shot. What did that do to us? What did that do to us? Why did we kill Achampo? Why did we kill Achampo? And when Achampo was leaving office, how much property had he acquired?
Yeah.
He was living in Shidib. Shidib, in a house which today, you know, is a joke. You understand? And the allegation then, the rumor then was that he had too many girlfriends and was buying VW Golf cars for them. VW Golf! Today you see the cars that our political office holders are riding with their wives and so. You see the cars they are riding. Yeah. We shot at Champon for buying VW Golf cars. You know, it's incredible. And so the killings, the imprisonment, and so on has not resolved the problem. I believe very strongly that all of these things flow from privilege. If you are not in a privileged position, you cannot tamper with public funds and so on. It's about privilege.
Yeah.
So we need to begin to look at how to limit privilege, you know, to solve the problem. And I find that more healthy than banging people in jail and shooting them and so on.
And, you know, before I bring you in, Doc, you know, you were so spot on when you said this malaise, you know, cuts across the different spheres of our public, you know, institutions. So, you know, before attending the Cocoa Board media briefing, I was also at Exim Bank, which is now under Sylvester Mensah, you know, the former NHI boss. And it's a similar story. It's a similar story. His biggest headache is giving people money. People didn't use the money for the intended purposes. And those who have even used it for the intended purposes can't pay back. We're talking billions of cedis. And
Yeah,
now how to collect the money is his biggest headache.
There have been a few cases like that where people actually went to the banks with what they call bankable projects, whatever that means, you know. And the bank gives them millions of cedis. In some cases, they even had foreign exchange. They had dollars and so on.
Okay.
And the money did not go into the project at all. There have been a few cases like that. Well, not a few, quite some cases like that. Yeah? And then they did not repay the loans. So the banks lost the money. The purpose for which the loans were given were not realized. In some of the cases, it was in the agricultural sector. So the food production did not take place. Resources for food production were used to buy luxury cars and so on, you know. Just a huge mess, complete mess. Complete mess. And
let me.
That is why sometimes, no, quite honestly, I worry, you know, hearing the politicians and what they talk about, and the fact that some of them still have the courage to engage in public discussions, you know, and to pontificate on national issues. You don't need this mess, and not feel a sense of guilt and so on. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Doc,
yep.
You have some thoughts to share on this?
Yes, of course. Since I'm here, and these are topical issues of national interest, so definitely I've got to.
You have managed a public office before. I don't know how if you feel when you hear some of these stories.
Well, I believe we have something we call systemic failure in our governance system.
Okay.
Altogether. What we are hearing, anyway, I wasn't privy to the meeting you guys went, but I'm taking something out of that. I don't know if 2017, when New Patriotic Party took office under Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, some of these things were brought out to the fore and for the public to know. Regime change after regime change, you are bound to face some of these things. Remember why some people were being prosecuted at Cocoa Board, the former chief executive himself and not. So the legacy problems, the systemic challenges that have been existing within our public sector or public institutions are age-old. And people come into office and they can't do much about that, or they can't boldly call for reforms to restore order, or whatever you have. So it is passed on from generation to generation, from regime to regime. So nobody can ever tell me that if there are issues or problems at Cocoa Board, they started some 8 years back. No. But the escalation and also not dealing with those issues would have been the matter to discuss or to take it up. That is why you are in government. You are not in electioneering period. You are not on campaign trails. The lamentations are becoming too many. You can do it. The president thinks you can do it. That's why you've been put there. And there are problems to be solved. Because he is afraid, for now and for the future. Just as myself, everybody else. That is why we go to the polls and elect leaders to run today and then to run the future of our country. The complaints, we may go back. J. Kufuor took over office 2000, and the cocoa industry was in complete shambles. His government took the initiative of revamping the cocoa industry, and we all saw what was put in place. And then we all saw the output that came out of that. We had to cut down most of the cocoa trees and replant them. We had to do a whole lot of policies were put in place, all gearing towards revamping the industry. So there had never been any time in the history of this country where everything has been so clean and rousy. You come in, you inherit challenges, so as you inherit assets and privileges. As we speak today, can the chief executive of Cocoa Board look into the eyes of Ghanaians and tell us that there are serious challenges at Cocoa Board, so we are not taking salaries, we are not traveling, we are forfeited our privileges and what is due us, all in the name of trying to save the company? The answer is no. They are continuing. And check how many people have been employed there. A company that is so much in distress. Check how many people have been employed there, because he's under obligation to employ.
Yesterday he said.
Yesterday. Yes, I wasn't there. So tell me what.
Yesterday he said, yes, there's pressure to employ because people are looking for jobs.
Yes.
But he's refused. He says he won't employ anybody.
Yes, refused.
Yes, says he won't.
In fact, I think it's important to make the facts available to
because of the precarious nature of the financial situation of the company.
Because it appears that he's not seized with the facts.
The facts, yes.
Yes.
So the Cocoa Board has been in existence for 80 years.
Yes.
This is the first time in an 80-year history that its liabilities exceed its assets. The first time, never happened in 80 years.
I will not. No, but I have this. I have the floor. You came in to help. So
I thought you had finished.
No, I haven't.
No, but I will say, no matter how long you talk, I will still get the opportunity to get the facts out.
Yes. And I'll be happy. And I will be happy to have the facts as it were. Because I've told you I wasn't part of the meeting.
Right.
But the point is.
Speaking about employment, I hope.
Yes, the employment.
Employment. So in the last 11 months, there have been no new employment.
At Cocoa Board.
Yes.
Yeah, within 8 years, in spite of the precarious nature of the finances of the company and so on, more than 2,000 people were employed.
Yes.
Okay, so granted.
Why?
So granted. I'm coming. With 8 years, 80 years, this is the first time we've had liability outstripping assets. That's the fact, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It has been a build-up. It has been a build-up over the 80 years. You see, people have been advocating for a long time that we even scrap the Cocoa Board. Are you aware of that? Do you know why? Because we failed with Timber Board. We used to have Timber Marketing Board. Why was it scrapped? And when was it scrapped? In this country. So all these state institutions gradually, we are building up that kind of decay. And I agree that at any set point in time, that is why I said in 27, maybe what we did not do well was to come publicly to tell Ghanaians exactly what was there that we found, the decay. Maybe we were so economical with exposing most of the rot when we came into office. And let me, you know the case of PBC?
Produce Buying Company.
Yeah. Was in dire straits before 2017. 2016, 2015, there was serious problems. Even when I was in Parliament those times, Cocoa Board was finding it very difficult to raise this syndicated loan to do the purchase. There's work to be done. You said you can do it. You told Ghanaians that this and that, and you've been given the mandate. Please get to work. If the kitchen is too hot, just tell the president, please, I cannot continue. And that would be the most ideal thing to do. But the lamentations are one too many.
First statement to make.
Well, it may seem, but to me, that is the point. Because you see, you are put there not because the place is so rousy for you to go and enjoy the larges. You are put there because there are perceived and real challenges there. So you bring your expertise on board. Bring whatever you have, your managerial skills, to come and solve most of the problems. We will be happy as the people of Ghana when you come and tell us. I went there, I saw -2, 3, and 4. Now I've worked so hard, down, instead of -2, we are getting to 0, moving towards +1. Then we'll be clapping for you. Then we know that you are working.
But that's exactly what is happening now.
No.
There are many things which are moving from completely negative indicators.
No. Question.
Can I give you the facts?
Question. No, I don't need the facts now.
You don't need the facts.
I'm okay with what is available now that we're dealing with. So you see, but let me quickly traverse a little bit.
Okay.
And let's see, because Kwesi said he's afraid of the future. And I'm equally afraid of the future, maybe more than him. If you have an economy that is being run with the currency over-strengthened, not based on export earnings or based on any particular economic policy that is stimulating the growth and the strength of your currency, then you have a problem. Today, we are being told that the cedi has stabilized against the dollar, which is a good thing to me, but at what cost? The president and the Bank of Ghana is bold enough to tell we Ghanaians that $10 billion of our money have been pumped in what they call intervention to stabilize the cedi. They took the cedi 14 cedis plus something in January. 14.7 in January. Today, how much is it?
It's 11.45.
11.45. So in between 14 and 11, you are talking about 3 cedis. And it has cost the taxpayer and the people of Ghana 10 billion to reach this point. And within a space of 10 months. So the ensuing year ahead of us, 2026, how much is the government going to pump in to maintain this kind of thing? So assuming 10 billion is the benchmark, next year another 10 billion is going to be pumped in. This is a serious issue.
How is it a serious issue?
Okay, let me explain.
How is this a serious issue? How is this a problem?
Let me explain. Because Moro, if you have $10 billion, if you have $10 billion, what would you use it for? Given your priorities,
what would you have used it
for? If I have $10 billion in government, I will pay road contractors, I will pay teachers, I will pay nurses, I will employ more because I will open up, and then most importantly, stimulate local businesses, industrialization, encourage people to go into value addition, create more jobs, export more, and earn more foreign currencies back home. I will use this $10 billion within this.
In the 8 years that you were in power, why didn't you do what we are describing?
Okay, let me.
You were in power for 8 years.
Let me. You asked me a question. Let me answer. I will answer, but you asked me a question. You deserve to be answered.
Hold on.
Because that answer will help us.
You would answer, but hold on.
Okay.
Don't talk as if you just came from outer space. You just left government after 8 years.
Yes.
You understand?
Okay.
Now, besides, today, you go out there and tell the people of Ghana that it's a bad thing to stabilize the city. And listen to what they will tell you.
No.
You came into power. Your vice president, who is now seeking to be president, came into power. One of his priorities was to stabilize the city.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
One of his priorities.
Yes.
Why did he make the stabilization of the city?
Okay, let me answer. Because
You're not going to get
you
into
kept on asking questions. So the questions demand answers.
No, they were rhetorical questions.
Rhetorical.
They were not meant for you.
But even if they demand answers,
you would have to wait for you to land.
let
And
me
then
finish
you
and
can
then
give the answers.
you can answer them.
Yes.
You
Oh,
understand?
yes, on that score I agree with you.
Yes. Let me finish and then you can answer them. So you go and tell those who are doing import, those who are in the import trade, that it's a very bad idea that the city has been stabilized.
Yes.
You understand? Go and tell those who depend on remittances that it's a very bad idea that the city has been stabilized and so on. What is this? You know, not just that. Massa, you're talking specifically about the cocoa board. A number of measures has been put in place in order to reverse the current situation. And one of those measures which has been put in place is the suspension of cocoa roads. I think it's a brilliant idea. It's something which would help us, to take hold of the resources available to cocoa board and to redirect them, for whatever. That has been done. There has been a freeze on employment over the last 11 months, So the payroll is being managed much better than it was managed before. Indeed, within the last 11 months, the importation of jute sacks, which became just a waste, has also stopped. And so there are all kinds of positive measures, which have been put in place as far as cocoa board is concerned. Now, you're talking about the management of the national economy. Look, I'm one to admit that there have been no fundamental structural changes in the state of the economy. But when it comes to managing the microeconomics and so on, why? Who is going to deny that now the inflation is in the single digit? Quite apart from the stability of the national currency, inflation is in the single digit. You understand? The national debt has fallen, and so on. These are all clear indications. These are not things that we have to argue about,
Okay.
Good. Talk. Fine. Beautiful. I'm happy it's been situated well. That the intervention by Bank of Ghana, one, importation, and two, remittances, as he just said. This is serious. Fundamental economics will tell you that your import receipts, when they are so high, as against your export, you are in dire straits. You rather have to stimulate export, and then, as much as practicable, cut down import. So we are putting in all these 10 billion just to satisfy importers. And let me give you one thing that you may know. Let me share with you. Immediately this government came into office, they organized a meeting between GUTA, the 24-hour economy secretariat, headed by the venerable
Guzitano.
Yeah. They had a meeting with GUTA, and he himself was there. Lawyer Oye Lita was there. Oye.
Which one is that? Which of the Oyes? Is it even Nano Oye?
Nano Oye.
Bampo,
yes. Because I didn't want to use the message.
Yes.
Senior counsel. She was there.
Okay.
And you know what the government was telling GUTA? Government was virtually begging GUTA to step down their importation and rather go into industrialization, production, so that it can be the anchor of the 24-hour economy, because the 24-hour economy must necessarily hinge on value addition, where production is the focus. That was what the government engaged GUTA. They said, no, we are import-oriented. And the promise you people gave us is that when you come into office, you make sure the dollar CD rate is down and stabilized. You make sure import taxes at the port are low for us to blossom. That ended the meeting. So the government had no option than to draw from its nose to ensure that that promise is done. Now, inflation is low. Yes, of course. Why not? Because money supply in the system is being controlled rigidly by Bank of Ghana. Now people purchasing power is so dwindled and they are not buying. Contractors are not being paid. The ordinary poor teacher who has worked for 11 months had to be paid only 1 month's salary. The nurse who has been recruited into the system and worked for almost 12 months now has been paid only 1 month's salary. And so, no award of contracts, nothing is going on, except that we are pumping our 10 billion. We did not, as a government, do that. You know, there was that form of intervention, I must agree. We did not go on this blast that much because the financial space was so rigid at that time. That is one. Two, we knew it wasn't sustainable. You cannot sustain it. So rather, we were trying to get this one district, one factory in place so that people can go into manufacturing and then create the needed value chain employment programming. That basically agribusiness was to be promoted. This program had challenges, which I agree. It couldn't reach the crescendo or where we wanted to. So I would have loved that a new government coming in would have studied the situation and then right the wrongs within this remit. So instead of pumping dollars to shore up the city, manufacturers and people who are ready to go into value addition, particularly the agribusiness, where we have greater advantage as a country, would have been given that kind of. So Dr. Bawumia, that time, said to resolve that problem, all that will be needed, and the next NPP government will make sure that at least every year, 30 billion cedis of to be public expenditure will be saved. That 30 billion will go to the private sector to build them up into production so we can do export and earn more. That was the pragmatic issue. Now, again, this 10 billion, do you know where it's coming from? It is coming from the gold production.
Yes.
And we are being told that almost 60-point-something% of the total production of gold is coming from the small-scale sector. And the dichotomy between small-scale mining and illegal mining is almost melted. So we are getting this money out of likely illegal mining sector.
But Doc, this matter has come up time and again, and the counter argument has always been that, look, let's even assume. I mean, we don't have any concrete data to back
but I have.
Argument.
It's my area.
No,
I've done the research. My PhD research is on that.
Yes.
So
okay. So I'm saying that in the absence of showing me that data, that's the empirical evidence that you say you have. The president himself, the lands minister, the minister in charge of communications, they've all argued that, look, even if we were to assume that the source of the gold that Gold Board is buying, assuming is even illegal, aren't we better off today than in the past when we didn't even know who were buying that illegal gold? Do you understand what I'm saying? So that illegal, so-called gold that we're buying, part of it we're using that to intermediate, not even intervene as you keep saying, to intermediate. And the communications minister again has had cause to explain that this whole thing about intermediation thing has not been properly understood because the Bank of Ghana gives cash, to the commercial banks, who then will give it to persons who need it for importation, to import their goods or their items. It's not for free. Okay. Now, the availability of the forex is what has dealt with the volatility as far as the forex exchange and things are concerned. Now, central bank has enough forex to give it to these commercial banks, who then give it to ordinary people who want to import, products from outside. And so there's no mad rush for forex, but the forex is there because economics 101 once there's high demand for something and you cannot find it, the prices goes up.
Yes.
If it's available, the prices are moderate. So it isn't as if the government is taking 10 billion and putting it out and getting nothing back.
But what is the government getting? What is the government getting back?
But the impression oftentimes is created.
What is the government getting back?
We are putting the money out and we're not getting.
I'm coming.
Explain this time.
It is now that you explain. But I have the floor.
No,
you had the floor from morning to now, from dawn to now.
Brakwesi, indulge me.
You always have the floor. Who gave you the floor? But we have to.
You see.
So I'm just saying that. Back to the issue you raised.
Yes. Let us deal with the issue.
Back to the issue you raised.
Yes.
Look, let's even assume, and I'm saying the absence of any hardcore empirical evidence.
I've heard you, but let me come.
Aren't we better off?
Better off?
No, I'm saying, aren't we better off?
Better off?
Making money.
Better off?
Comes to the state.
You see, when you go on that tangent, when you go on that tangent,
yes,
we must then establish that as a country, we are institutionalizing illegal mining.
No,
because we are better off with the proceeds. No. I mean that tell your argument.
No.
Oh, God of mercy. That's your argument.
That would be an unfair conclusion.
Oh no. I'm basing on your argument.
Yes,
we are better off.
Okay.
We are better off because otherwise these monies would have gone into.
Yeah, some persons we don't even know who they are.
But now it is coming to the state.
Yes.
So it's better.
Yes.
If those monies were going to the private people, would this still not be illegal?
Well, I don't know about it being it's illegal goods. So yes,
it's illegal. So illegally it will be going to the private people. So now we want to say that illegally it should come to government.
Yes.
For us to be better off. Okay, now establish. So if you get this money at the very expense of the health of the people, very expense of our environment, the ecology, our water bodies, these are serious infractions that the monies that you get cannot reverse the trend.
But illegal mining started way before even the setting up of Gold Board.
Yes, of course. I agree.
You know,
way before.
But at the time, we're getting nothing apart from our water bodies being destroyed.
Yes. So now we are getting.
Yes.
Because we are institutionalizing the illegality.
Well, not
as
necessarily.
Oh, God of mercy.
Not necessarily.
And so,
in fact, Gold Board itself has said time and again.
And so, if
once it has evidence that the gold it bought came from an illegal source, they reject it. They said it time and again.
Oh, so how many gold they've rejected?
Well, I don't know about rejection.
So now, do you have illegal gold mining in the system? Do you agree?
No, there is illegal gold mining.
Where are the golds?
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
So then still it's being smuggled. So then still the monies are going to the private sector. Is it the case? Please, we must be honest with ourselves.
Okay.
We must be fair in this.
Let me bring up
and the monies you are getting from this gold, the best way you think you can utilize it is not to pay the contractors, not to pay nurses, not to pay and then show up this high electricity cost, the water cost. It is not for you, it's not a priority for you to build more hospitals or to continue with projects that have been started, but rather push it towards importation. And I'm saying that the more you push importation, the more you encourage importation, you are fundamentally destroying your economy. Why wouldn't the same amount of money, whether credit or whatever, given to the manufacturers or private sector to run with? Please.
Okay.
So, Kwesi, yes, I agree with you. The future is bleak because I cannot see the sustainability in this.
Okay.
How do you sustain pumping $10 billion of your reserve every day and then every year?
Okay.
And mind you, gold is a non-renewable natural resource, and it can get extinct. It can get finished. So at the end of the day, when there's no more gold or more gold even to mine, it means you'll be mining and mining and mining, and the funds will be going elsewhere. There can never be a build-up of reserve.
Okay.
And the danger in this is that the gold miners, whether legal or illegal, They are now going to fight over space because the available mineable space that they are all getting depleted.
Okay.
So there's going to be gangsters among themselves fighting over lands to be mined. And that is where the national security threat comes in strongly.
All right. Let me bring your friend.
Right.
Okay, see.
Well, I just hope that Honorable Dr. Kukufu will spend a little time listening to himself, because he doesn't need any other intervention. Here we are. You came into government at a time when the cedi was exchanging for 3.4 to $1. Okay, that's when you came into government. And according to you, the way of strengthening the cedi is to introduce one district, one factory. Okay. For 8 years, you implemented this program of one district, one factory. 8 years. Huh? At the end of the 8th year, the cedi was exchanging at between 16 and 17 to $1. Can I finish? Can I finish, please?
Was it Bank of Ghana?
Can I finish? And your recommendation now is that the incoming administration should go back and implement a program called One District, One Factory, which actually did not stop the problem, it worsened the problem. What do you take the incoming administration for? The new government, what do you take them for? In any case, when you're talking about this One District, One Factory thing and so on, show me those factories that were created, in fulfillment of that promise and so on. And I always cite one. I mean, we are being watched in Tamale right now, as we sit here, we are being watched in Tamale. Yes. Are you including the Motokin assembly plant, which was labeled as One District, One Factory? In Tamale, Motokin assembly plant, which existed 20 years before the government came into power.
Yeah, maybe,
was labeled
maybe it was revamped. Some injection was.
The people of Tamale know what I'm talking about.
Yes, because he was doing 10. And when he enrolled on the program, he started doing
20. Master, I think we should get serious. I think we should get serious. Moro has explained this cocoa thing, this gold problem.
Yes.
Clearly, very well. Look, I think that the way to go into the future is for us to own all of our resources. That includes gold, diamond, bauxite,
timber,
oil, and so on. To own those resources and to exploit those resources for the benefit of the people of Ghana. Ultimately, that's what we ought to do. But you see, this thing you're talking about, illegal mining, and the fact that some of the gold which is being bought is coming from illegal mining and so on. Master, please listen to yourself. Let's say that a certain quantity of gold is produced illegally. That quantity of gold which was produced illegally was finding its way outside the Ghanaian economy, was not benefiting the Ghanaian economy in any way. The environmental destruction was taking place, the waters were being polluted and so on. But in addition to that, we were losing the gold which was being mined.
Yeah.
Let us assume that what you're saying is true. So now, the illegal mining is still going on, the waters are being polluted, and I'm not going to contest that. But the gold which is mined is not leaving the country to balloon, the bank accounts.
But he describes this as institutionalizing illegal mining.
How is it being institutionalized?
So those
how is it being institutionalized?
Because we're buying.
So at least we are one step ahead of you.
Okay. No.
Can I finish?
You are buying from the thief. A stolen item. This is practical. You are buying from the thief.
Is it a moral question?
Well,
are you talking about the morality of it?
Well, either way you take it, because illegality remains illegality. If I should acquire this, this is Kwesi, and I take it from him without his consent.
Not talk at all.
Yes, but I'm helping.
I don't need your help. Please, I don't need your help.
Because we'll be helping each other.
No, today I don't need your help. Keep your help. You know. The other thing which you speak about, which I find most interesting, is this bit about import substitution and export and so on. Well, perhaps you can't blame Dr. Kukufu too much. You know, he's been traveling quite a lot. And he himself said that when he travels, he doesn't listen to the news. So a few things may happen.
No, I did not say so.
Oh, he said so.
Is it was a pack? Is it that
pack?
Is it
that
pack?
PAC, that EPA pack, that You see how the experienced man will do.
No, Master, no problem. So the traveling may have become a problem for him.
Okay.
Because we do know that there's a clear program for import substitution. Clear program, and it's yielding results. As we speak, poultry farmers are complaining that they produce so much eggs that they can't even get buyers, even at Christmas. That's a concrete program. The National Service Secretariat, the poultry program that they've started, I'm sure you are fully aware of that. They're selling full dressed chickens now for 120 cedis. When they're selling on the market for 180 cedis and so on. All these are concrete things which are happening right now. They're happening. Look, I saw.
So no importation of chicken?
There's a program, it will not happen in one day, but there's a program to change that, and it is changing, and we can see it.
No. We go to the port, and we can see the import of these products. Poultry farmers are crying today.
Hold on. Can I finish?
Yes.
I'm sure, Masa. This one, I'm sure you saw it even when you traveled.
Which one?
The young man, you know, the young man who made a video and is so angry with the Mahama administration for causing a reduction in the price of rice.
I've seen a video.
Yeah. But would you? So do you believe it?
That's a fact.
I mean,
what
kind of fact? No.
You're denying that one.
No. But people can put nowadays. People can put video and do all manner of things.
No, I'm not talking about the video. You yourself, you eat rice, don't you eat rice?
Very much so. Ghana
Has
rice.
the price gone down or it hasn't?
Ghana rice. What I'm buying is the same price. Yes, I don't patronize.
What shop are you buying from? Maybe you're buying from a special shop.
No, I have a supplier. The guy.
Then your supplier is cheating you.
The guy. Oh, why? The guy went.
Because it's gone down.
It hasn't.
Master, Moro.
No.
Why? The rice you buy hasn't it gone down?
Of course. The prices have come down.
It's come down. You are the only person who is still buying expensive rice.
No, expensive as in what?
Whoever supplies you rice is a cheat. Stop buying rice from the person. Because the rice I buy, it's come down.
What kind of rice do you buy? You buy Ghana rice?
Master.
Maybe you are buying the imported rice. I patronize the baby
So you
Ghana
agree
rice.
that the cost of imported rice has come down?
Because they are getting cheaper dollar and they are killing the local industry. Because if you are not getting it, those who are producing rice locally, they can't compete with them.
Look.
Because they have cheap dollar being pumped into the system.
Look.
So he gets the dollar cheap, goes out there, bring in this rice, and Moro, who has taken money from Eximbank to produce rice, is unable to compete with them on the market.
Okay.
That is what we're talking about.
Look, you have a problem.
I have, because I'm afraid of the today and of future, just as you are afraid of.
Can I explain
the nation? I mean, the nation is.
Can I explain the problem? You see, you work so hard. You've earned about 6 master's degrees. You have a PhD and so on. You're a big man in society.
No, the impact of it.
I'm coming here.
It's what is necessary.
So it
But
may,
you've just been commended
hold on.
by PAC. That's impact.
Yes.
So it may very well be that the people you buy from, they look at all these your credentials, implies-ing the things they sell to you.
You see, that's the problem because he says you have.
So
that's your problem. They are selling rice to you as a PhD holder, as a person with 6 master's degrees, as a very prominent person in society and so on. And they think that you have the resources to pay for expensive rice. That's why you are suffering like that. Because everybody
so in order to get a cheaper rice, I have got to strip myself of all those titles.
How can you justify?
A shop sells rice, say for
your supply is a very bad thing.
It's not.
No, what was he? How was he? You're saying a shop sells rice for 50 cedis.
Yeah.
But anytime I go,
but when they see the man has a PhD. He has 7 master's degrees. He was boss of a
Then the professors. Then the professors.
This man, he can't buy rice at 50 cedis. He has to buy rice
then the professors.
So you are the only one who is buying rice at 100 cedis. Not everybody is buying it at 50 cedis.
You are also not getting me. Have you looked at the local industry? Have you looked at the local industry?
So all the
local industry
have been announced and have been implemented. You are not aware of them. You are not aware at all.
At all. Hey. At all. Because you see, Cocoa, I like that bit. When the CEO engaged, the media, the senior, the yesterday meeting. But was he able to tell you that the cocoa farmer is not happy? And for that, most of them are even giving their cocoa farms to these galamseyers. They are selling them. Do you know why? Because cocoa used to be sold at 475 cities when Akufo-Addo was in government. Then his government increased to 3,100. Then NDC in opposition said the government was so insensitive to the plight of the average cocoa farmer, and that the cocoa can fetch them not at least 6,000. So when they have the opportunity to come into office, they are going to do that. They came into office, they fulfilled most of the promises they made by scrapping.
Doc, do me this favor. Doc, do me this favor. Yeah. We risk spending about 3 hours talking about cocoa board. That's the risk that we is before us.
Oh, this will be the last.
No, because you see, once you go on that tangent, then we'll be forced to face with counterfacts.
No. Nobody. Because he understands me.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Pacho. What do you mean, Pacho? We have.
The man in 6,000.
Oh no. You see, the cocoa board.
Only 100.
The cocoa board matter.
Only 120. So the cocoa farmer feels so much cheated.
Right.
So much. It's a deceit. You told me that you can give me not less than 6,000.
Yes.
And you come into office and I'm still getting 3,220.
But in all of this.
So let's end that one.
In all of this. And
you know I'm a cocoa farmer.
Yes, I
know. You know that one.
In all of this.
So in addition to your PhD and 6 masters, you are still a cocoa farmer. Why are you so greedy? You want everything.
Okay.
You want everything. What is wrong with you?
So no comment.
Let's not.
One man. You have a doctorate degree. You have 6 master's degree.
Yes.
Cocoa farming title too. You've taken that one to your job. Why?
No.
You alone.
But he's going to add one.
And you want to add general secretary of the new patriotic party.
Yes. No, but he's going to add one more. Mystery shopping.
That one there.
Mystery shopping, because he needs to find out how much rice is being sold at other places through mystery shopping. Anyway, so I want us to get into some other conversation, because we spent quite a long time, or an amount of time, on economy and cocoa. Bright, should we go on a break now? Because it's not palatable when you're interrupted. We should take a break now, right? So we'll take a break now. When we come back, the Constitution Review Committee are done with their job. They have handed it over to the president. The president has given him or them his fullest assurance that the recommendations will be actioned upon. We'll walk you through some of the fine recommendations that the Constitution Review Committee have come up with, and then I'll pick the thoughts of my guests who are here. And it's all because we say that, yes, the Constitution has served us since 1992 for 30-something years, but there's some issues there that we need to fine-tune. Some things we need to even totally eliminate. And that is why the team has done their job. Now we'll look at some of the recommendations that they are making, whether they're good, whether they will help us, whether these are the concrete issues that are affecting, both the governance and economy of this country. So please stay with us. This is Good Morning Ghana.
They say, oh, we have spent $10 billion. The Bank of Ghana has spent $10 billion intervening in the forest market to show up the city. And that we could have just spent $4 billion of that to do the big push. Indeed, I have seen the video in which a TV presenter and some panelists are arguing this way. With the greatest respect to them, that is high-profile ignorance. You know, the Bank of Ghana does not dash forex to the market. You see, forex, foreign exchange, that's the official term. It's like any other commodity. It's like Okoboy's nice suit. It is sold for a price. If there is scarcity of these suits, multiple bidders will put in money, and that is likely to raise the price. It is basic economics. And he himself alluded to how demand can impact prices. So if there's a shortage of forex, people bid and are prepared to pay higher than the other person so that they secure it. The entity in Ghana that has the legal status to sell forex, or as it were, procure forex for release onto the market, is the Bank of Ghana. Their law mandates them to do so. So the banks or commercial banks, through which businesses also secure forex, buy forex from the Bank of Ghana. So they go and give the Bank of Ghana cedis, the cedi equivalent of how much forex they want. The Bank of Ghana takes that money, gives it to Gold Board to purchase gold. The Gold Board then exports that gold, gets dollars and brings it back to the Bank of Ghana. So it's not like the Bank of Ghana goes into its vaults, takes dollars and go and give it to commercial banks for free, so that you can use that same money to go and build a hospital or finance 24-hour economy. So the MPP and their propagandists must cut out this propaganda. It doesn't do them justice when they argue this way. So the Bank of Ghana calls it intermediation. Basically, they are a middleman between the source of the forex and the commercial banks, who also do business with forex bureaus and other operators in the economy. This is how it works. So it's not like there was $10 billion lying there doing nothing and they just decided to pump it. And you see, Moro, the cost of living, which generates hardships, is the biggest problem of the Ghanaian. Every government that has lost election in this country can trace the loss to sentiments about cost of living and hardships. And I'm sure Okoboy will bear me out. Indeed, Asantehene has a famous video in which he says that Ghana for the economy and Nibra and the Tuaba. So that the moment they begin to feel hardships and they determine that you have caused it, they punish you as they punished the MPP and they've punished the NDC before, and they punished other parties before. So any government has a responsibility to do what it takes to ease the burden and suffering of the people. So if the Bank of Ghana and Gold Board, and he himself has praised the Gold Board initiative, the Gold Board initiative or proposal was in our 2020 manifesto. We didn't win and therefore we could not implement it. But having won now, we've implemented it. And in the last few months, let's say 8 to 9 months, they've brought in $10 billion of forex. And that is how come the Bank of Ghana is able to get that sort of liquidity to put into the market, so that when businessmen need it for import or other activity, they get some. That is how come the currency has appreciated. The downside of it is that the currency would have depreciated, the city would have depreciated, and it will mean that prices will continue to go up, which will lead to direct suffering of the people.
Start your Kids Day the right way, filled with confidence to take on any challenge. Pepsodent Kids contains the right amount of fluoride and sugar acid protection to care for their developing gums and teeth. Grab either orange or strawberry so they brush with the sweet flavor they love morning and evening. Pepsodent Kids, giving your children a bright smile for a brighter future.
Me chechi woni nara me din eje baby da pa me dia de sonko kra na ebremo nya odi to aduane mo ama waduane e de pa na me de bremo eno any some spices dey emu wa no bebre o various flavors ubenya eya akoko ubenya nantwie ye de ku jollof mu ma emu ye de ubenya ye de ku nkwan mu ye de ku froye mu ho na ko pebito na ema waduane enye de unyimi nia ye nkon ye konko tie nyankofo eka
Down where you communication to Nipo enjoy Uduba. That's some spices. One in the essence, no time. I'm taking the Samu spices in a BTA. Daddy so say. Samu spices. Salmon spices. Nyama chicken.
Samu spices.
Nsaka in Ketwa, measure 10 grams. Your chicken, spaghetti, garlic and ginger, stew, can jollof, and the flavors of Bebre.
Samu spices. Yes,
In a world where security is paramount, peace of mind should be a necessity and not a luxury. This is why Virtual Security Africa has created a special discount package up to 30% on our 4 and 8 channel high definition cameras. We are more affordable now than ever. With as low as 4,130 Ghana cedis, you can get 4 high definition cameras, 3 terabyte hard drive, cables, and a digital video recorder. With 6,440 Ghana cedis, you will get 8 high-definition cameras, 3 terabyte hard drive, cables, and a digital video recorder. Why choose us? Because we offer top-tier quality you can trust, lifetime after-sale support, 2 years warranty, and you can view our systems remotely. Sidinua PK. Spend less, secure more. Call us on 055 874-0764 and 050-331-4068. Virtual Security Africa. We will beat the advertised price of any security product of comparable quality.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to Amame Manfo, Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is so buying, and maniswing, Nesansu Mama Hotoso, a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
At the heart of Amasaman, along the Accra Sawam Road, something fresh is growing. At Pop Farms, we raise 100% organic broilers, naturally fed, humanly raised, and processed with the highest hygiene standards. Whether you're feeding a family at home, serving dinners in your restaurant, stocking your supermarket, or running a busy chore bar, Pop Farms delivers freshly frozen, premium quality chicken straight from our farm to your table. Fast, reliable doorstep delivery, fair prices, grown with care right here in Ghana. Clean, healthy, local, organic. That's the Pop Farms promise. Call us today on 024-777-3668 or 054-290-4156 or email sales@popfarmsgh.com. Pop Farms, raising the standard of poultry in Ghana.
Pop Farms chicken, naturally raised, honestly delivered.
You're watching Good Morning Ghana on a Metro Television. My name is Audumor. I'm here with Mr. Kwesi Pratt Jr., who is the former managing editor of the Insights newspaper and a veteran journalist, and of course an elderly statesman. He more than qualifies for that. And then also Dr. Henry Kokofu, who is a private legal practitioner and also an aspiring general secretary of the New Patriotic Party, but a member of the NPP's communications team as well. He was a former MP and a former EPA head. I don't know who was Unkwesi who. Oh, were you the one who was about to? speak when I said that we needed to take a break, right? I don't know. You're the one who was supposed to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. No. Okay. So good. So, it's about the sorry about that. It was about the CRC's reports, which the president has taken delivery of. Now, we are told that the Constitution Review Committee has proposed far-reaching reforms to Ghana's governance framework, including longer electoral terms, a leaner executive, stronger independent institutions. Now, the chairman of the committee, Professor Henry Kwesi Prempeh, presented a final report to President John Dramani Mahama on Monday, December 22, outlining recommendations aimed at strengthening governance and improving the effectiveness of the Constitution. Now, if adopted, the proposals would reshape the distribution of power between the executive, parliament, and independent institutions while expanding citizen participation in constitutional governance. Now, here are some of the key recommendations, and I'll read them sentence by sentence. There's extension of electoral reforms. There's a proposal which has been tabled to increase the tenure of the president and members of parliament from 4 to 5 years. A move the committee argues would give government more time to implement policies while reducing the frequency and cost of elections. That's one. Separation of parliament from the executive. The committee also recommends a clear separation between parliament and executive, proposing that members of parliament should no longer be appointed as MPs. Now, the change, according to the report, is intended to strengthen legislative oversight and reduce conflicts of interest. There's cap on the size of government. In a bid to curb executive excesses, the committee has proposed placing a firm ceiling on the size of government, limiting the number of ministers to states, including deputies, to not more than 57. 57, you think, is fine. Now we're doing 58. There's reform of state land administration. Another major recommendation seeks to restructure the management of state lands. The committee proposes that public lands be held in trust for the people of Ghana, with administration vested in the Lands Commission to promote transparency and accountability. They're strengthening independent constitutional bodies. Now, the report further calls for reforms to the appointment processes of key constitutional bodies, including the Electoral Commission, advocating merit-based selections to insulate such institutions from political influence. There's abolition of the death penalty. On criminal justice, the committee has recommended a complete removal of the death penalty from the Constitution, aligning Ghana's legal framework with evolving international human rights standards. And there's election of local government heads. Now, at the local government level, the committee proposes a direct election of metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives, a reform aimed at enhancing accountability and strengthening grassroots democracy. But there is a but, because they're saying that not all the districts or municipalities or metropolis would have been ready. So it's going to be piloted from some other districts, and then depending on how it goes, and then it's done across the board. But of course, it wasn't captured in this story. The citizen-initiated constitutional amendments. The report also seeks to expand citizens' constitutional rights by allowing individuals to initiate amendments to the Constitution, provided they secure sufficient public support. There's creation of an independent anti-corruption body. Now, in the fight against corruption, the committee has proposed the establishment of an independent anti-corruption commission with exclusive prosecutorial authority separate from existing state institutions. There's parliamentary eligibility of dual citizens. Additionally, the committee recommends lifting restrictions that prevent Ghanaians holding dual citizenship from contesting parliamentary elections. President Mahama is expected to study the report and initiate consultations on the next steps, including possible constitutional amendments and legislative actions. Meanwhile, President John Dramani Mahama has announced the government will begin implementing the recommendations of the Constitution Review Committee early next year, following the submission of its final report. He says the review process had now ended and the focus will now shift to implementation, which he said will be carried out in a bipartisan manner. And I need to confirm something for me, because there was this publication that I think I saw it online, where we're told that the NPP has formed a committee to look into the report and to come up with its own take on it. But before we get onto this, I just received this from the chief executive officer of Gold Board, Sammy Gyamfi. And he says, good morning, gentlemen. Yesterday, the Ghana Gold Board surpassed its 2025 small-scale gold export target of 100 tons, generating over $10 billion in foreign exchange for the country. He says, hooray. That's coming from Sammy Gyamfi, who's the CEO of Gold Board. Now, this gentleman, Dennis Carter, who also works with Gold Board, he says, I'm saddened when people with good education backgrounds do the kinds of analysis they do, and because of politics. That's why I like to listen to Dr. Tony Edu, because he would deal with the issues dispassionately. And he says, now back to the topic of 4 years to 5 years. I don't agree that Ghanaians should vote against it. Let's maintain the 4 years. when you give politicians even 50 years, still they will tell you they need more time. We should rather strengthen our institutions. That is the bottom line, not extending the number of years. And then this one here from Mark Ojoboafo, who is watching us from the United States of America, or we call it Uncle Sam. It's a good one, my brother. The setting up of Gold Board is one of the best decisions of the NDC government. In fact, people should be jailed for lack of vision for not establishing Gold Board earlier. I once attended a COCO conference in London in the early 2000s, and all the resource persons were happy about what COCO Board, has done for the Ghanaian economy. Mark from the United States of America. Mark, good to hear from you. It's been a while. You joined our conversation via text message. So Kwame Sapmasedu, your very good friend with a CDD fellow, he's also sent a message. He says, Honorable Kokofo confuses me. See, for 8 years, the amount of Ghana's pharmaceutical needs manufactured locally remained at 30% despite money being pumped into one district, one factory. Local pharmaceutical manufacturing could not be incentivized to increase output. At a point in 2023, work done by CDD suggested inflation in the pharmaceutical sector was as high as 171%. Today, the prices of pharmaceuticals have all but stabilized thanks to the combined effect of low inflation and cedi appreciation. As a health watcher, how can he convince me that this decreased pressure on the spending liquidity of patients with chronic diseases is a bad thing? Anyway, Merry Christmas and see you on a boat Noah's Ark tomorrow. It's Kwesi Pratt, PhD Rice. Anyway, so this one here, this one says that, there's a gentleman who's actually watching us from the Ghana Exim Bank, and he says he's enjoying the conversation. He's called Selon. Anyway, so I guess that we would... Okay, so Samaku Kelly sends a message on this one. Good morning, bro. We thank God I finally find a constitution review. Okay, so I'll read this when we start a conversation on the constitution. Okay. All right, so I've walked you through some of the highlights, or perhaps the key highlights of what was presented to the president. Yeah. Uncle, what do you think?
Yeah, good. But Uncle Kwesi, you had a missed call. Somebody, a friend of mine said he greets you. Okay. And he says he's very sure. He says he's a very ardent supporter of CPP.
Okay.
I mean, an Nkrumahist. And he says he's very sure if Dr. Nkrumah were to be alive and had $10 billion, he would have used it to build more motorways, build more hospitals, build more schools and all that. So that's by the way.
So that the city will collapse.
No, that's by the way. Because
who told you that's how Nkrumah would have talked?
When Dr. Nkrumah was alive.
Because he claims to be CPP, is right. What is that?
No, I'm just passing on information to you. No, okay. On your question, yes, the Constitutional Review Committee, or is it commission or committee?
This one is a committee.
It's a committee.
The Fiajo one was a commission.
Yes, so I'm coming there.
Okay.
My party, New Patriotic Party, has indicated, as you rightly said, that we've put together a team to do the review, so the party can take a stance on. So at this moment, I'm unable to go into the nitty-gritties. However, I am quick to say that this is about the second time we are seeing such a work being done. Professor Fiajo's one, when Professor Tuguba was the executive secretary, produced a report when Professor Atamils was the president, and current president was the vice president.
Yeah.
White papers were issued, and you don't know what happened to it. As we speak, it was not utilized.
No, you remember that in 2015, Professor Kwekwaza, first of all, the committee's work was presented to, it must have been, I don't know, Professor Mills or John Mam, I don't remember. Professor Mills, okay.
2011.
And then the implementation did not happen until Professor Mills passed.
Yeah.
John Mahama now becomes president, and then John Mahama assumes office. But then I think at some point, even though there was an implementation committee, at some point, Professor Kwekwaza had to take the matter to court. I remember at the time, his problem was that the president didn't have the power to initiate any constitutional review process, and that even the modus in terms of the mechanism that was used. So he says you as a president, you can't just get up and select a few friends and say, go and review the Constitution. You know, and that there was a possibility that the president could tell them which aspects of the Constitution to go and review. You know, he raised some very interesting arguments like that in court. Of course, the court threw the matter out in 2015. So it was that court, suit that actually stalled the process at the time. You know, up until 2015. My name is Okaya.
Well, but you concluded by saying the court threw the matter.
Yeah, in 2015, yes.
So court did not rule against the implementation.
Right.
So it remains that we had it and we couldn't implement.
True.
That's the bottom line. Now, the president has initiated and he has received the report. We all look forward to see. From our end, as New Patriotic Party, we will let the Ghanaian people know what we think about all those things. For constitutions and all other things, what the Ghanaian wants is good governance, how we'll be able to optimize our resources and protect the public purse. That's all that they are looking at and looking for. So anything that will guarantee that, I hope the Ghanaians will be happy to help us do. But to perpetuate ourselves in office and to extend and escalate the authority over the people through some of these constitutional changes would definitely be resisted by the people. And I don't believe that we are at loggerheads with each other anyway. If you take, for instance, the election of the MMDCs or DCs, whatever, the local government system, the previous government attempted something, and most Ghanaians are in tune with that kind of thinking. And so let's see what happens. I wouldn't want to pick ahead of my party. I will speak the party's mind when we conclude on the review of our own. So,
how true is it that a joint committee has been set up, as I'm being told, to look into the report of the Constitutional Review Committee submitted to President Mahama? The committee is expected to do a thorough review of the report, and that will inform the MPP's position on all the proposals. It is led by two legal luminaries, Honorable Anyemedu, Ranking Member, Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament, and Frank Davis, Esquire, Chairman, Constitutional and Legal Committee, MPP. Other members of the committee are Honorable Hassan Tampoli, Honorable Obi Amwa, Nana Che Bafuewa, who is the Menchia MP, and then there's Honorable Kojo Ponkroma, there's Gary Nemaku, there's Martin Eje Mensa Kosa, and there's Honorable Dr. Mahama Tia Abdul Kabiru, and there's Honorable Fatah Bakar and Hanifa Ajua Yahya. And this has been put out by Awal Mohammed, who's one of your party's communicators. He used to communicate for the YEA, and that's why I'm reading it, you know, because I know he goes on platforms to speak.
Yeah,
I don't know whether you're aware of this.
I have no doubt.
Okay.
And, it's a formidable team, and that is what put out there. And we expect them to do the usual thing of scrutinizing and reviewing, so we can take a decision, a firm decision, that will be in the interest of the country, for the people of Ghana.
So it won't be a case of you're rejecting the work. It will be a case of aspects that you agree, aspects that you disagree. I believe, is that what you're looking forward to? Or you're going to reject the work in its entirety?
Well, you're asking me a question.
No, I don't know what the terms of reference.
You're not asking him to be a soothsayer.
No, what are they supposed to do? No, always, what are they supposed to do?
Review.
Review the thing.
Yes. At the end of the review, they may reject the whole work.
Okay.
At the end of the review, they may accept aspects and reject aspects.
That's fine.
It all depends on what they do.
And that's why I said we will do what will be in the best interest of the country and the people of Ghana. We have nothing more than the good interest of the people at heart.
Okay.
That is what we will do.
All right. Ogozi, exciting times?
Not so exciting. You know, I have a worry.
Why?
And the worry is actually at the end of the process.
Okay.
I'm hoping that at the end of the process, we will not be asked to go and vote in a referendum. To say whether we should vote yes or no. Because that will not answer anything. There may be about 20, 25, 40 amendments. I may agree with 5 of them and may reject the rest. If you ask me to vote yes and no, What does yes mean and what does no mean?
No, but because let me help a little bit here. There are certain provisions that are entrenched.
Yes.
Those ones calls for referendum.
I know.
Yes. So if there are about 25 and say 3 calls for referendum, it is the 3 that will.
Even if it's true, what would a yes or no vote mean?
But I believe, Uncle C, before that happened, the NCC would be very active.
Yeah, but if you ask, if there are 5 proposals and you ask me to go and vote yes or no, what would it really mean in practice? Because I may agree with 4 and reject 1. Am I voting yes or I'm voting
no? It will be on each and every one of them.
Fantastic. So whatever happens at the end must enable the people to express their views clearly, issue by issue.
Yeah.
And we should avoid a yes or no vote. That's what I'm saying.
No, there can be a yes or no on, say, voting for MMDCs. If it is an entrenched position, which I know, let us go and do yes or no.
Don't vote or vote. Yes or no.
Yes or no. If you say yes, it means we are
only for that issue.
Yes, only for that issue.
Only for that issue.
Yes. So what you're advocating is let's do issue-based voting.
Yes,
exactly.
That is exactly.
Lumping everything
No.
That can be confusing.
No, that's what is
people may end up voting yes or no. When
because in 1992, to approve the whole constitution, we voted yes or no.
Yes. No, that's a different. Yes. That is a different ball game altogether.
Yes.
You see, the putting up of the entire constitution may require that kind of yes or no. That is it. But when it comes to amendment, it is an item by item. And like we all know, most of the items does not require referendum. They are not entrenched provisions. So rightly, which one they identify and requires that referendum, it will be dealt with on its own.
I hope so. That's what
that's what it should be.
Let's approach it issue by issue.
Right. But I agree with him that the citizenry must have a say. They must have a say. And the say that they must have is the voting. At that time.
That's fine.
So the voting and how we vote is important in this matter. For me, the second issue is that from what we're hearing, I'm just wondering, what is it that these proposals are going to cure? All the proposals we have heard, what are they going to cure? And sometimes it does appear that the reasoning is problematic. You understand? You have a constitutional review committee which says that, look, the president has too much powers. Let's cut down on the powers of the president. Some public service appointments and so on should not be made by the president, And then at the same time, it says, well, the president doesn't have enough time. That's a problem. You understand? You either want a strong, powerful presidency or you don't. Okay? Now, if you think that the president has too much powers and that those powers need to be curtailed and so on, how then do you extend his term?
That's a good point.
It's confusing for me, really confusing for me. My other problem simply is that the law, and the constitution basically is the law and so on, it's about the definition of property relations. Okay? I don't see anything in the new proposition which alters existing property relations. You understand? It doesn't alter existing property relations, So in substance, this constitution is not new. These proposals don't give us a new constitution. Because it's the same reasoning, the same ethos and so on, which underlines the proposals that they have put forward. Then there's the question of ownership of national resources. It's become a major issue. It's been debated and so on. I don't see anything in the new proposals which emphasizes the ownership of our natural resources by the people and the exploitation of these resources for the benefit of our people. There's nothing which is clear-cut, which addresses that question. And then again, all of us, now there's no disagreement that Africa needs to move towards bigger aggregation, the unity of Africa and so on. Even the right wing now asserts that African unity is important for moving forward. There's no reference to the efforts to unite Africa. You know, the building of a continental union government and so on is absent from these proposals. So I don't think that there have been any fundamental review of the Constitution, nothing fundamental, cosmetics and so on. That's what I see. Now, I'm also very worried about this whole thinking that we should weaken our presidency, weaken the president, and that thinking appears to find expression all over the place. This Constitutional Review Committee, who are the members? Who elected them?
It's the president.
President, people he liked, he put them together, Constitutional Review Committee and so on. You understand?
Yes.
And they are making proposals to limit the scope of the work of the president, to limit the powers of the president. Who gave them that authority? Who gave them that authority?
It's just a recommendation.
I'm comfortable about a situation where people elect their own leaders, and non-elected people who have no mandate and so on, try to whittle down the power of representing the people. I'm very uncomfortable with that.
You disagree with those who say the president is too powerful? He does everything he wants to do because the Constitution gives him those powers.
I don't believe that.
You don't believe that, okay.
There are so many checks, there are so many balances in the 1992 Constitution as exist currently.
The fact that the president appoints the electoral commission,
I think people want
IGP, CJ,
their processes.
The thinking is that it makes them subservient to the president who has appointed them.
Their processes. The president makes these appointments on the advice of constitutional institutions and so on. If the people who populate these constitutional institutions decide to do their work well and not to pander to the whims and caprices of presidents and so on, the president will not have his own way.
But we've been struggling to get the institutions to be as independent as we want, at least perceptually. That's how some people see it.
Moro, let me say that no constitution in the world enforces itself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's no constitution which enforces itself. Constitutions are enforced by human institutions.
Right.
And if we cannot deal with the question of the quality of those human institutions, their fidelity to principle and so on, no matter what constitution you enact, it will be useless. Yeah. No constitution has enforced itself before.
Fair point. It's about the people.
It's about the institutions which are supposed to enforce the constitution and so on. So if we argue that, yes, the president has to consult institutions, but we cannot be sure about the caliber of the people who populate these institutions, their fidelity to principle and so on, then let's forget it. Mm-hmm. Because any constitution you enact ultimately will be enforced by these human institutions.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I get it.
So
I get it. Hey,
Moro, quick one. I think Uncle Kwesi has succeeded in confusing almost everybody.
Oh,
maybe. I'm coming. Maybe the committee members may have to come again. You see, it was not clear.
Right.
I mean, from my own point of view. Do you want a new constitution altogether? I mean, is it because you see, you are introducing very interesting scenarios. For instance, the Pan-Africanism, and we being a star in there, we do not have it in this constitution. So if you are reviewing this constitution, it may be difficult to try to import it. But if we are to have a new constitution altogether, then it's another different matter. Then we can, because the amendment, as he said, he does not see what really there is to cure. Before you call for a review, you should know which areas do we think are problematic and need to be remedied. People have said that at the local governance level, the people should elect their own leaders at that level. Failure to do that, as in the status quo, they are not accountable to the people. They will tell you the president, they don't bet now. So I'm not. But if they are to be elected by the people, just as the assembly members, then they will set up and know that they will be going to the people to work. And again, the infraction.
But are MPs accountable to their people?
I'm coming. The infraction between MPs and DCs, because DCs are not elected, they, at the district level, they have their way how to subvert or to undermine MPs. Quick to answer your question, MPs being accountable to the people, yes.
They lose power all the time.
Yes, they are accountable to the people. They go to the people to seek their mandate.
Yes, I know, but I'm saying accountability and saying, do they do exactly what the constituents want them to do, even though they have been voted, even though they've been voted for? Every day, here constituents complain about how they are nowhere to be found.
If the constituencies don't believe in the MP is doing what they want him to do, they have the option to vote him out or her out.
But in the case of the MMDCs,
yes,
they don't have that.
Yeah. So that is the anomaly that we seek to cure. But because you want to know more and more. For instance, what are we doing about institutions? I mean, state institutions, and then people's attitude, their attitude. How do we, the nationalism that has escaped us, how do we get the constitution to prop up people's attention and people, and the enforcement? You need institutions to enforce all these laws. Now, people are crying over overpacking the judiciary. People are crying over Parliament being rubber stamping. People are crying executive incursion into these areas through appointment and all that. So it must be clear which areas do we seek to amend. And if they are so substantial and they are so much critical, then we call for a new constitution. That would be another option. I remember very well when we were dealing with EPA law, Environmental Protection Act 490 of 1994. We were to do amendment. We got to a point when we got to Parliament Select Committee, it came to fore that the whole thing is mutilated. So then the suggestion from Honorable Damboche to my minister then, Dr. Kwekwe Free, but Minister, you and your CEO, from all the account that you've been given, don't you think it would be proper for you to get a new act altogether? And that's how come we went for Environmental Protection Authority, the Act 1124. So, yes, my party, New Patriotic Party, has a team, as we've said already on. So for the party's point of view, at the appropriate time, you will bring it to fore. But Kwesi's admonition this morning is one of a confusing state. Whether we as a nation, we don't know what we want, or we are sitting there for few people to tell us what we want, so far as the Constitution is concerned.
Because he also talks about the fact that Ghanaians don't have any appetite for a third term. He says Ghanaians don't have any appetite for a third term.
Who said it?
Professor Kwesi Prempeh.
Well, I think that it would have been a mistake if anybody had pushed for a third term for President Mahama. You know, I think that it would have destroyed President Mahama completely. And I've said this publicly many times.
True.
You know. But listen, I just want to draw attention to the fact that the 1960 Constitution had provisions in there which said that Ghana was ready to sacrifice its sovereignty in the greater interest of continental unity. It was in the 1960 Constitution, you know. I mean, since that we've taken it out of our Constitution, I think that perhaps it is time to bring it back, because there's no disagreement today.
But Uncle Kwesi, did you have the privilege to meet the committee? Did you put up proposals?
No, I didn't. I'd actually done some work with the...
Then that is where the problem is.
Can I finish? Actually done
if I knew, I would have gone with you so that we put these things together.
I've done some work with the Professor Mike Okwe committee, which was working from the IA. In fact, Professor Mike Okwe had asked me to submit, you know, proposals for review and so on. So I presented a whole document, you know, to him, in which I made all of these points. And I was hoping that any constitutional review committee would take into account the work that Professor Michael Quay had done.
Okay, at IEA.
Because he has spoken to trade unions, he's spoken to civil society,
I'm privy to that.
All kinds of groups, and was really building, a certain momentum and so on. In fact,
I think it would be interesting to know, to find out whether they actually took that into consideration. Yes,
I was wondering why he, as a person, was not asked to get involved in this review, because he had done a lot of work.
Yeah.
He had done a lot of work.
And again, I'm even surprised that the team didn't speak to you and Mr. Kwaku Baako. Because I'm listening to you now, fantastic ideas that could have found expression in the document if perhaps they had engaged you and Mr. Kwaku Baako. I mean, we all know your contributions to the.
They couldn't have spoken to all the 35 million people of Ghana.
Well, that is true.
Yeah, but
some person.
Yes.
Some of you stand tall. There's no doubt.
Couldn't have spoken to 35 million Ghanaians.
No, Kwesi, speaking to you wouldn't amount to speaking to 30 something to me. We'll get them. But some very interesting proposals, Very, very interesting. I've never picked your thoughts on this whole talk about, an issue on Kwesi raised earlier about his strong opposition to any attempt to even encourage or to persuade or to encourage the President Mahama to have a rethink about not going for a third term. There's all kinds of, I'm sure, what it be. I've never really picked your thoughts on this. I mean, what do you?
Well,
because there are people who have a different opinion on articles. Is it 66.2 or is it 66.2? The one that talks about the tenure of the president, or is 85? Article 85. I need to check that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, as a lawyer, I don't know what your thoughts or your opinion on that is. Is the Constitution clear that you cannot go beyond 2 terms, even if you lost? Even you went 1 term, you lost, and you came back. Whether that erases the first term or the first term still stays. Some lawyers who are expressing
I think we are mixing 2 different things.
Okay.
The Constitution is clear that president can go for 2 terms.
Okay.
That is clear.
Okay.
What you are asking, maybe another thing that if there had been
a break, you went 1 term,
and then
like in the case of John Mahama.
Yeah, for me, a term is a term.
Okay.
1 term here, first term here, then another term here. And you yourself, you admit that, in my first term in office, I did A, B, C, D. It is, something. When I was in office, my first term in office, I did A, B, C, D. So giving me the opportunity, I will be able to. Or I made mistakes during my first term in office. I've come to the books and I've learned my lessons. So give me another chance, I'll do. So you admit and you accept that you've done a first term, and what you are coming to do is a second term. So for me, there shouldn't be any ambiguity here. It's 2 term is 2 term. And back to what Kwesi said, that you would have been surprised if anybody had championed for a third term. Likewise me. I mean, for what? And somebody said politicians, if you give them whatever time, they will continue that they do not have time. But all said and done, my party will look at it critically. And what is good for the nation, we will come up with that.
Going forward, there's also I know you would come up with something more comprehensive, as an official response to what the MPP thinks of what the MPP thinks of the Professor H. Kwesi Committee's work. But now the proposal is that at 30 years, you should be able to contest, to become president.
That's the proposal.
That's the proposal.
What's the status quo?
Now 40? It's 40, right? 40. It's 40.
So it has to be lowered down.
Yeah, lowered by 10 years. Now here's the thing. Yesterday during the conversation, one of our guests made a very interesting proposal, and he said, "Look, whether 30 or 40, can't we have a situation where if somebody becomes president, whether for 1 term or 2 terms, now after a term, if the Ghanaians are yearning for the person to return, the Constitution should allow you, even though you've done 2 terms in the past, and you are not old, and you are still, you're still, you basically qualify, you meet the threshold as the standing constitution.
So suppose Jay Kufuor is 15 years now. You should go and call Jay Kufuor to come in.
Somebody made that. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Article 66 of the Constitution, term of office of the president, is very clear.
Yes.
It says a person elected as president shall, subject to clause 3 of this article, hold office for a term of 4 years, beginning from the date on which he is sworn in as president. 2. A person shall not be elected to hold office as president of Ghana for more than 2 terms.
It's clear.
Very clear. And then it continues. You understand? So
there's no ambiguity.
No ambiguity at all. It's very clear. 2 terms and then finish. You understand?
Okay.
Whether break or honeymoon.
You see, there are problems. They have many problems. How can we as a people, 35 million people, come to the conclusion that there's only one person who can lead us out of 35 million? That's a problem. In fact, that's an insult to the whole population.
Why, guys?
35 million. You have only one person among 35 million who can lead.
But during President Nkrumah's time, you were, how many were we? Whether 5 million or 3 million. We still had one person to lead us. Yeah, and he was the president of the republic.
At every time, you can have only one president.
Yes, so I don't see where...
But this argument which says that forever and ever, there's only one person who's qualified to be president is problematic.
No. I don't get your point.
But at some point, but at some point, there will always be one person.
One person
who qualifies out of the 35 million to lead us.
For a period. Under the Constitution,
for a period of years, maximum.
You can choose only one president.
Yes.
But to make the general proposition that for as long as that person is alive, he's the only person capable of leading.
At that particular point in time. You see, what Kwesi is talking about is where people make themselves life presidents. They put themselves in office in perpetuity.
But that's what he's kicking against.
No, but who is doing that? It's not being practiced.
Oh, no. Maybe you're not getting it. The context of what he's saying.
No, I got him
today. Right. There are some people, in fact, there's a video of the majority leader, who is saying that Ghanaians are yearning for John Mahama to continue, to do another term.
Yeah.
And that power belongs to the people.
Yeah.
So what the people want is what you do for them. And that let's wait and see how things will pan out. That's his opinion. Now,
and he's a lawyer.
And so he, whatever. So he...
Well, I wish he had learned a little more history.
Yeah.
He would have taught twice.
Right.
Yeah.
Because our history...
That was absolutely uncalled.
Ghana's history clearly indicates that that's an adventure. That it could lead to...
It's a dangerous adventure.
Very, very dangerous consequences. Look, I have no doubt that if you look at our history, one of our most popular leaders was General Acheampong. Don't forget that eventually when General Acheampong was being shot at the Teshi range, he was being shot to public applause. What did he do wrong? What did he get wrong? Study that history.
The same man who was the messiah of the people.
Exactly. What went wrong?
Useful lessons.
People should be careful what they advocate and what they wish. I've told some of my friends, I think I've told you, that today the NPP appears to be in tatters. But the NPP will revive itself very, very quickly and enhance its chances of coming back to power if this 3-term bid is pushed. It will be a bonanza for the NPP. If they like, they should try it. Fortunately, the president himself has said that he's not interested. He just wants to finish his 2nd term and walk away. Fortunately, the leadership of the National Democratic Congress has come to tell us that they are not interested in that. They would not support a 3rd-term bid and so on. So it is clear. But those who are still clamoring for a 3rd-term bid should learn the important lessons of our history. And I think they will think twice.
Okay. Let me read these messages and then we can leave, and because we have other things to take care of. Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm says that Assalamu alaikum. My brother, interesting times we live in this country, but one day shall never end. Has Mr. Kokofu forgotten so soon that he just exited power? Mr. Kokofu should be told in plain language that before the MP left power, the economy under them was rated as junk economy. Junk economy in short means ball economy, but with the NDC in power for 11 months, the economy has been rated as B-. What about that? I remember under the MP government, the Bank of Ghana printed a lot of money into the system to stabilize the economy, but still they were not able to manage the economy to the satisfaction of Ghanaians. The economy under their management was so pregnant. Manche Bruce the second.
Manche, I thought you were going to invite us to Takoradi these holidays.
Yes. Manche, you are under attack. You have to redeem yourself. Augustin says, Charlie, the invitation will come. What's happening? Anyway, so Manche Bruce and the Constitution Review Committee has undertaken a comprehensive review, but I respectfully disagree with the proposed separation of executive appointments from Parliament. This could potentially lead to a loss of talented individuals. Furthermore, I suggest that the concept of a campaign period be reconsidered and potentially removed. Merry Christmas to you, Uncle Kwesi, and Honorable Dr. Kokofu Manche Bruce II.
Thank you, Manche.
I'm told he's now a professor. I don't know if it's true.
Prof.
Manche Bruce is not a professor.
So he's one step above. Wow.
Mr. Kokofu. Anyway, so this one here. Okay, so this medical doctor who is also a member of the NDC's communications team, Dr. Frederick Ntiamwa, he says he's wishing all of us here and his friends and family a Merry Christmas. I'm wishing you a season of warmth and togetherness, filled with love and laughter. May the new year bring you happiness and success in all your endeavors. Dr. Frederick Ntiamwa sends that. Now, Sani Salihu says that there's no adjective called consecutive in what the Venerable Kwesi Pratt read. Now, if the president's rule isn't back to back, do we need constitutional interpretation on this? Well, my best regards. He said because you didn't say consecutive, it means that it could be 2 terms.
The Constitution is clear. It says 2 terms.
Yes.
Each term is 4 years.
Right.
So it says 8 years.
Right.
Finish.
So
Go.
Salihu says that. Now, Manche Bruce is back. Please tell Kwesi Pratt that, please tell Uncle Kwesi that I'll be in Accra for Christmas, so I'll look for him.
Okay.
He's prepared to redeem his image.
That's refreshing.
Yes.
And then this one here from Sam Akukeli is watching us from East Legon Hills. He says, good morning, Moro. We thank God that finally the Constitutional Review Committee is Constitution Review. I don't know why most of my media people, and you've also fallen in the same trap. Constitutional. Yes, it's constitutional, but that's not the name of the committee. It's Constitution Review Committee. They've presented this report. No doubt that a good job has been done. However, there are some nagging issues of grave concern to the larger working class that ought to be looked at. For instance, why would the Constitution permit certain class of workers to retire on their salary while others can hardly subsist on their meager monthly pensions? Why should persons who have made all the monies in the world by virtue of their positions still continue? Yes, there are serious issues with that. Continue to take same in retirement. It's high time we realize that certain practices are colonial legacies handed over to us and must be reviewed. Fairness should not allow this to continue. Again, what is the justification for proposing a reduction in the age of persons who intend to become president? What's not broken needs no fixing. We definitely need more interrogation on many of our issues as a country. Tafa in Amrahia says that Taudu, don't allow Honorable Kokofu to mislead people. No taxpayers' money has been lost. The Bank of Ghana sells dollars to commercial banks. It doesn't mean they make losses. Okay, well, I've said it's time with that number, so it isn't as though I've just been sitting there. Now, Abdul Kudu says that the Constitution Review is a complete waste of time and money. Oh, let's hasten solely with the review and on that massive scale, with a myriad of our problems, the Constitution Review is a priority. A case of penny wise, pound foolish for me. Oh, Charlie, Abdul Kudu, so you finish. You see, very people. Or, you know, some of the recommendations that I made, some people actually suspect that because these are views that have been held by the likes of Kwesi Pempe for a very long time. For some of the recommendations that we made, you know, so some people are saying that, well, how do we know if some of those recommendations are not Prof's own take. And I said, but even if it's his idea, he's Ghanaian.
But everybody
and let's weigh it against public interest.
Yeah.
Which is in the interest of
if it's a popular, if he holds a view and it's popular amongst Ghanaians, why not? You know. Carlos from Odojojo says these MP people are amusing. What exactly is the MP representative saying? Is he telling us to vote for the MP or simply to go and relax somewhere? All the ideas he's now putting forward, where were those ideas? Why weren't they implemented when they were in government just a few months ago? So why hasn't he implemented them? What they do best is something embezzle public funds. That's what they have done to this country. Carlos from Odojojo sends that message. And Mr. Carl, there's this gentleman called. I've met him once or twice. He's really, he admires you a lot. He's an older man. It's called Carl Guri. He says that he wants a copy of the Randy's presentation. We're not giving copies, but I can get it for you. Okay, Mr. Carl Guri. He's such a fantastic man. I think you should meet him. Yes. The other day he took your number and said he was going to get in touch. I don't know whether he has. So this one here, Ola Mangote says hello to everybody. Okay, I guess that I would have to end it here, and because time is not her best friend, it's 10:20. So Aisha Kwame, Aisha Kwame says that so Aisha is watching us on YouTube. Oh, sorry, Aisa Kwame watching us on YouTube. He says contractors are not being paid, so why are all construction of roads? Why construction of roads all over the place?
Disputing the fact that they claim that
contractors have been paid. Not all contractors have been paid, but contractors have been paid. Emily Nola says he is now here telling us how 10 million can be used. Why didn't you people pay teachers, nurses, and constructors then with the same money? Okay, that's Emily Nola says that. Nia Aite says that what is wrong if government has to beg and negotiate for the benefits of the Ghanaian people? And then, okay. All right, so Davido says, like Benin, 5 years would not be enough. And they will soon ask for 7 years, then 10 years, then lifetime presidency. Interesting. Coming from Davido. All right, so that's it for our YouTube viewers. Doc.
Yep.
Tomorrow is Christmas.
Yeah.
Typically, how do you celebrate your 24th night? 24th nights, I mean, since I've been an adult, it's been a very, very, very massive night. I mean, people do all kinds of things on 24th. Some go to church, some party, some go clubbing. You know, of course, some will spend time with their family. How do you spend your 24th night?
Well, I do not have specific thing doing.
Activity.
It has never been specific.
Okay.
Depending upon where I find myself. If I'm in town, I would love to be with the family and most probably go to church, or we just be indoors.
Why do I have a feeling you have plans of traveling soon? You're traveling soon?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Right.
Well, I may be traveling soon to Kumasi.
Obviously, your friends
Accra to Kumasi. Accra to Kumasi.
Oh, okay, to Kumasi. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, to Kumasi. Yeah, so basically, I may be in the midst of friends.
Okay.
That night.
This night. Today is 24th.
Yeah, it's 24th.
Yeah, 24th, yes. I may be in the midst of friends or with the family. What I don't do is to go out there, whether to partying or some kind of, no, I don't do. I'm sometimes scared about some of the exuberance that are being exhibited out there, particularly some of the people out of, I don't know why, people want to get drunk, they want to do all manner of things.
You mean people overindulge?
Yeah, overindulge, yes. When we were young, we used to do some of those things, but growing up, there's no any help. So I try to be indoors, with friends, with family.
And let me, before I come to Okwesi, do you have any, season's greetings?
Yes, really. The people of Ghana, I think we must give thanks and glory to God Almighty for having seen us through all this period. Not all people believe in Christmas, I do know. But those of us who do believe in and we see ourselves as Christians, this is a very special moment for us. And it's about time to take stock of all that we've been doing, both socially, at our workplaces, and all that we have. So I wish you Merry Christmas, and I'm hoping for a Happy New Year that will be ushered into 2026 to begin yet another marathon of days called a year. I wish you Merry Christmas. Greetings.
Owuzie, I know you're also grateful to God for...
Well, a Happy New Year for all the citizens of the world. May your best dreams be realized. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh, tomorrow is Christmas. Happy New Year is in 6
birth of
days.
So Happy New Year is bad.
No, we are talking about the birth of Christ. You see, the new year will come, and it's in advance. So it is being ushered in by the birth of Christ. That's all that Moro wants you to.
Unfortunately for you, I'm one who believes that no religion is inferior to the other.
No, not that.
So on public platforms like this, I don't...
Oh, but during Eid al-Adha, I wish and I celebrate.
Because I cannot say things that cover all religions. There are thousands of religions in the world. I like to focus on New Year, which will happen for everybody.
Okay, then I'll say it on your behalf. The birth of Christ.
Since when did you become my statement?
Well, you are my good friend. You just told everybody that we are best of friends. So I'm electing myself to represent you. Uncle Kwesi says, Happy Xmas, the birth of Christ.
Xmas is not happy.
Merry, okay. Merry Xmas, Merry Xmas, Merry Xmas, the birth of Christ. He knows it. He knows it more than I do. And he's just completely refusing to mention the birth of Christ. I've done it for you. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Uncle Kwesi Pratt Jr., as we affectionately call him, is a former managing editor of the Inside Newspaper. And also Dr. Eric Ogofu is a lawyer, former EPA boss, and also an aspiring general secretary. How's it going?
Yes.
Are you winning?
Yes, very much so. I'll be the next general secretary. For the
Hey, you're confident, though?
Yes. It is a rescue mission.
Okay.
The people have told me it's a communal labor.
Okay.
And I have good friends in the media. They taught me how to communicate. People think, you see, I don't have qualification in communication. Okay.
But people get that one too very soon.
No. You have told
in the next 2 years you have a master's.
You have taught me. Kwesi, Kwekubako, Kwame Sefakai, all the gurus you can think about. They take me through the rudiments of communication. Right. And I'm most grateful, very grateful to all of you, including your good self.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And we can only wish you well.
You come with the master's.
All right. So this is where Good Morning Ghana takes a break. We're back hopefully next week. Please don't go anywhere. Stay with Good Morning Ghana. Don't tune into any other program. This is your show. Have a good day. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
No, that due to the very, very excellent performance so far of John Dramani Mahama, Ghanaians are asking him to seek a third term. I know that. I know that because I read on social media, I listen to conversations, and Ghanaians believe that as a result of the good deeds of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, they don't want him to leave the presidency.
They believe a third term is possible.
And they believe that a third term is possible. And they are demanding for a third term. But John Dramani Mahama has not given any indication that he wants to go for a third term. But I have always said that Ghanaians will be the ultimate deciders of the future of this country. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, why do I say that? Please pay attention. Why do I say that? Next doors in the Côte d'Ivoire, the opposition leaders came to me when I was in the ECOWAS Parliament and complained that the president there wanted to go for a third term. And they were calling on us in West Africa to support them to oppose and prevent the president from going for a third term. So I asked them, the president who is seeking for a third term, is he going to put a ballot box in front of the citizens and ask them to vote for him to go for the third term, or is going to wake up early morning and announce that he is continuing for a third term? And they said there will be an election to determine whether or not he should go for the third term. And I said, go and fight him at that election. Go and fight him at that election. Go and fight him at that election. Mr. Speaker, that is why I say that ultimately, it will be the Constitution, the institutions, and the citizens of Ghana who will determine the future of our country. Mr. Speaker, your guidance and leadership have ensured that our legislative process, though often cumbersome, were conducted within the bounds of parliamentary decorum and democratic responsibility. Why are you afraid of a third term? Why are you afraid? Why are you afraid?
For the P3 experience with Ghana's gospel powerhouse, Philippa Befi. This January, get ready for an atmosphere of worship, praise, and prayer with renowned anointed ministers Emmy Newman, Agnes Opoku-Agyeman, Perez Music, Ifeosu Pepra, and the powerful voices of Pentecost. Jumadi Baba, so the first Sunday of 2026, I have 4th January, 4 p.m. Pepe, Ewo Kukumemle PIWC, ATTC Hope. Obiamre Bina Jumadi, free. This event is proudly sponsored by Next Level Energy Drink, KK Prepare Roofing, Tobinco Pharmaceuticals, and Glyco, and our proud media partners. Come and encounter God as we praise and let's pray for our families and children. It's the P3 experience with Philippa Befi, where praise meets prayer.
This December, Faith Life Church crowns the year with 2 unforgettable nights of worship and power. On Tuesday, 30th December at 7 p.m., get ready for a transformational encounter, a night of music ministration featuring Team Eternity. Akese